Hopefully. Welcome to the stream. I just wanted to have like a really, I know every stream is a chill stream, but like I just wanted to have like a really chill stream. So I've been wanting to watch a couple documentaries and I couldn't really find a second one that I thought like really fit. But I did find one last night. A new video got posted. So we're just going to watch two documentaries. The first one, we watched a clip from the guy a while back on, I think just during a random stream. But it's a guy named Brad Taste in Music, and I think it's a really interesting story because we hear all the time about how like money is everything, money makes you happy. This guy was getting paid 30K a month to react to music, not to analyze it or to really review it, just to react to it. And he blames his entire downfall on weed, which I think is really funny too. And then the second one is a real, we'll just have to wait to, I don't really know how to introduce it without I just think it just needs to function on its own later on. Thorpe's made a huge comeback yesterday. Oh, did they do a stream? But yeah, let's get started. This is the June the King's documentary on Brad Taste in Music. I think it's a really interesting story. It's a perfect example of like how being a content creator to me can really warp your sense of reality about how the world and relationships and fame work, if that makes sense. But anyway, here we go.
There has always been something strange about Bradley Lemon.
I didn't trust anyone. I was still delusional.
Something highly concerning.
Anytime I closed my eyes, I'd see like really dark things, like really shadowy, haunting, scary figures.
That was from a 2022 video of Bradley, celebrating his improved
1
mental
year
health.
clean from weed.
Little did anyone know how bad things would get.
Look at me! Tell me! Tell me!
That
How you doing,
audio,
Jerry?
known online as The Incident, was released in 2025. Bradley Lemon, going online as Brad Taste in Music, runs a music review channel. At his peak, he was earning $20,000 to $30,000 a month. In 2023, he shared this screenshot that showed he earned 313,000 tips
Where did
from
Ben and Grace
viewers alone.
stream?
On the surface, he was a happy-go-lucky guy with some internal struggles. The most controversial he was, prior to 2024, was when he argued with the artists of the music he reviewed. However, the videos he has attempted to hide and his ex-partner, who he has attempted to scare into silence, tell a far different, grim story.
Oh, the
This
best
is
boss
Brad
ever.
Taste's descent into madness. As such, this video will start from the beginning. On March 7, 2017, a 16-year-old Bradley Lemon uploaded his first video as Brad Taste in Music, a nonsensical 26-second-long piece parodying rapper Eminem.
Hi, my name is Eminem. Your girl wanted Eminem, so I gave her an Eminem.
This video hardly got any traction. The same could be said for
Oh,
his
I
follow-up
found it
videos.
on Thorpe TV. I'll have to check it out.
Hey, what's up? My name is Bradley, and I've decided that I'm going to make a music review channel, despite the horrific growth for most channels. First of all, I've always loved music since I was like really young. I'm able to kind of form my own opinion on a lot of things, and I feel like I have a lot to
Imagine starting a YouTube channel, right? And you're like, you know it's going to make you 20 to 30K a month. And somehow that's going to be the decision that like not that specific decision, but like that's going to put you in the position to make the decision that like tanks your life. Like that's crazy.
say and that I can add to the community quite well. But yeah, I'm really excited.
These were videos of Brad doing two things. Brad reviewing albums, largely a rap and hip-hop artist, and most importantly, Brad reacting to select albums for the first time ever. On average, these were sub-10-minute videos that Bradley, through his editing, made it a point to be playful,
damn it.
erratic, and interesting in his own way. Being that these were largely edited and recorded through his phone, there was only so much he could do, though he did experiment. As 2017 was closing, Brad used his time reviewing and actively listening to music to make videos on the worst songs or best albums of 2017.
Ham sandwich.
It was not until February of 2018
Well, Menard did say she made shitty sandwiches.
that Brad's channel
you doing,
really
Anand?
started to get traction. It begins with a confrontation of sorts, when creator Beyond ARTV gave the 21 Pilots album, Blurryface, a rating of 4.5 out of 5. Bradley, in ARTV's comment section, was not too pleased with the score, which is when ARTV responded to Brad, challenging his own views. Quote, "Why the fuck are you here then? Lol, so did Spectrum Pulse. Why are you here to bash the opinions of other people's taste in music, almighty all-knowing Brad?" Unquote. ARTV later uploaded a video titled 6 Reasons Why People Hate 21 Pilots. Brad on Twitter then connected the dots and believed his comment was responsible for that video and felt that he was largely targeted as a 21 Pilots hater. This, in turn, inspired Brad's own video that would be responsible for providing much-needed traction to grow his channel.
Why am I doing this? Well, if you're unaware with my Twitter, I've gotten into a little bit of heat with Mr. ARTV over here, John from ARTV.
Wasn't very
Brad
helpful.
restates his belief that he was responsible
Huge
for
comeback.
ARTV's video, then provides
Well,
the
you got to
context.
remember, South to West is here for, he's strictly a content hound. He's not worried about the numbers or the, you know, the statistics. He's just worried about the actual comeback, the content. How you doing, XP?
And that he never listened to that 21 Pilots album, as he was only jumping on the hate bandwagon, which ties into the reason he is making this video.
I do give myself a lot of credit for that. But in this video, he makes a lot of really good points.
They did
He
get
asks the
almost 2K
viewer
views,
to
I think,
listen
right?
to the music without thinking about the fan base, without thinking about all the merch, without thinking about the emo, without thinking about the outfits, and just listen to the music, and that's what I want to do. And I'm not doing this video to make fun of him. No, this is a video of me actually trying.
The majority of this 29-minute video is Brad reacting to the album, giving his personal breakdown of each song afterwards. This is how the video ends.
So I'm gonna give this my score. I'm feeling a
4.5.
I'm
out of 10,
alright.
not out of 5. Get the fuck out of here. 9 out of 10. You can't be with that bullshit. Get this fucking bullshit out of my face, okay? I'm tired.
While Brad's
I don't appreciate Brad taste in music blaming all of his problems on weed.
video did get a fair amount of dislikes, the top comments, rather than analyzing or critiquing Brad's own analysis, focus on his reaction. They're clued into the unserious nature of this video and pay more mind into someone experiencing the music they love or hate for the first time. This was Brad's strength, and this is what would grow his channel. And though he started off on the wrong foot with ARTV, the two would eventually patch things up and collaborate
Oh
here
my
and there.
God.
More importantly, Brad was starting to grow. As he likely saw the indications of success, he reacted to more 21 Pilots albums as well as other
I'm a reaction YouTuber. What do you mean? Bud is good if you what blasphemy. I agree. I think there are people who have bad experiences with it, but I feel like you know that pretty quickly. And if it actually is causing you problems and you continue to do it, I don't really think you can blame the weed for it.
other albums that sounded
I think people just pass everything off on weed. They say like, oh, I mean, I do it sometimes. I'm like, oh, I got too high and forgot to do whatever. But really, it just wasn't a priority to do whatever that was. But I think that people just always pass off like, oh, I did, you know, I can't, I didn't do this or I didn't do this because I was high or whatever. It's all cope.
either rap or hip hop.
If you're conscious.
Wait a minute. Huge spike in views.
I don't understand music reaction because if you watch, I think with him, he at least reacted like verbally a lot. But there are people who will be like listening to Queen for the first time and they're like, ooh, oh, and it's like, come on, dude, who listens to music like that?
Double the dislikes. Something must have happened.
And like, I'm sorry, but are we really to believe that you could be in your like 30s or 40s and you've never heard We Will Rock You? Never in a TV show, never in a movie. Like, it's just unrealistic to me.
Though Brad was getting a fair amount of hate, as is important for reviewers and creators in general, he was unshaken and
I mean,
remained
I think Ben
stalwart
can
in his
be
stances
entertaining.
on the music he was reacting.
I think XP, I think you're really invested, and I think South to West is too. He's pretty invested in the Ben arc, but like, I think you can just watch it and like, I think it's really entertaining sometimes when he really gets going.
Too.
It doesn't mean
This
that like I agree with what he's saying or that like I think he's a good person, but I just think like he's funny. I think he's just really funny sometimes, whether he intends to be or sometimes when he intends to be and sometimes when he doesn't.
Recommended respect and likely gave him the
What's up,
confidence
Ember?
to continue with his newly discovered lucrative content.
Hello, well, my name is Bradley. I have a Brad taste in music, and My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade. I got so many requests. Damn.
This was from part 1 of Brad's reaction.
Plus,
to the
it's
Black
grim
Parade
out here
by
for
My Chemical
content,
Romance.
TBH.
The second part concludes that unlike the 21 Pilots album, he truly loved this album.
VP went off on her crew, which is like her moderation team, I think, or her like besties. I was saying that like people needed to be like actually doing moderator work. Like, who wants to
giving it
do
a
real
rating of 9
moderator
out of
work?
10. In terms of reaction videos, Brad would never
What's
have
up,
one
Daninsky,
that would
you
perform
cow
better than his
eater.
reactions to My Chemical
Shit
Romance.
smear.
Though, in fairness, he had yet to discover his most lucrative form of content.
You've never seen
For
him do
now,
anything
reacting to
intentionally
music
funny?
is
Oh,
what he
come
did
on.
for 2019, and what he entered 2020 doing. It was this year that a 20-year-old Brad was seeing continued success on YouTube, but was struggling
Well, I mean,
outside of
everybody's
it.
going to be different, I guess.
It's Bradley. I don't even
Her
know what the
minions,
hell's
yes.
going on today, man. It's really coming in waves. Before that, I was making music. I was doing okay. I mean, I read the comments, I look. And
I don't know, man. It's really
maybe I'm
grim.
just looking for some sort of...
Like, the void is really a void right now in a lot of ways for content.
encouragement. I keep repeating.
I'm
but it's
just grateful for Luke
melodramatic in
West.
my
Luke
head
West
all
is really
day,
carrying
and
right
it's
now.
not doing anything for me. I just feel like it would be different if I wasn't locked in this fucking house. If I can see people, if I could do something, just, man, I have to make the best of what I have. And for some reason, like, what I have is just not good enough, even though it's fine.
This comes from an unlisted video titled Feeling Depressed, uploaded March 31st, 2020. It would be one of many videos and where Brad gives his raw feelings at the time.
Are you
of
talking
recording.
about the better
Only
stuff to watch
sympathy would
is
slowly dwindle as more and more came out about him through the years.
lingerie
Though at
streams?
this time, his small community was very supportive of his plight.
Mods don't get
unaware
money.
of
They
what was
do
really
a lot
going on.
of fuck
especially
shit.
there was a
They
period
do get a lot of
a
fuck shit.
couple of years.
Well,
or even just
in the VP sphere, like, being a moderator is not exactly a positive thing in a lot of ways. Like, so on top of that, if you're like I have an honorary wrench in there because I'm a clipper, but like a lot of the people who are mods in there have to do like actual moderator work, and that makes them like very unpopular with the other chatters, as you can imagine.
year in like maybe around 2000 or whatnot, where I was, or not 2000,
It's
2020,
all subjective, XP.
where I was very mentally unstable and very unwell. And then I
It's a thankless
ended up,
job, yeah.
So I was on weed at the time.
Oh,
Though
boy.
marijuana is often regarded as a rather tame substance, it appeared to make Bradley erratic. This is the case for some individuals.
He didn't commit murder, but I would say this is definitely a true. It is kind of a true crime story. But June the King, like his tone and everything, he treats like this. Is why one of the reasons I really like him is he treats even the craziest, goofiest stories like he's doing like a serious documentary, which I appreciate. That Mobility Mary one we watched that was a masterpiece.
Predisposed to having adverse effects
Her
of the
subjects.
substance. Brad's partner at the time,
Half
Tina,
as much
would
shit.
corroborate that marijuana did indeed
Dude, the amount, I can't even grasp. I guess though a lot of that 30K is coming from donations or whatever. But like just looking at ad revenue, it's crazy to think that somebody could make that much in a month.
fuel his instability.
It was like August of 2020 to June of 2022.
The way that he made most of his money actually is once he went full into Music React, you paid him to to react to the song that you wanted.
Lived in our
Like you could buy his entire show and have him react to like an entire show's worth of music that you wanted.
first apartment. He broke the bathroom door in that apartment, and while we were living there, most of the time he was on weed, and that's always when he had like more trouble controlling his emotions.
That audio was from an
Well,
interview
that's
of
fair,
Tina
XP.
conducted by the channel Purple Perry Gaming.
Aren't you
As
though
Tina
like a big
stated,
fan of
she and
Ava?
Brad
I
moved in
mean,
together
Ava's
August
content
of
isn't
2020.
exactly the most
It was in
exciting.
December of that year that she claimed she experienced his first outburst.
I think
that was
everybody
bad enough
has
that
their,
she
like-
decided to record it.
I don't
There's
wanna say
not 70
guilty
recordings
pleasures,
of,
but-
like emotional abuse. It's probably closer to like 10. With the earliest
Bath
being
salts?
December
Oh, I
of
remember that.
2020. Yeah.
For several years, it was only Tina that knew how things were behind the scenes.
We can all agree though that the most boring content is low.
Outwardly, Brad was doing rather well. In 2021, he was in frequently conducted live
Certainly
streams
we
with the
stand
twist
together
that
in
he
that.
would react to user-submitted music, so long as the said user paid the adequate amount. This for Brad seemingly began on Twitch, but later moved to YouTube.
I do it for
Hello,
free.
YouTube. My name is Bradley. I have a Brad taste in music, and today I'm going to be reacting
If
to the
she'd
entirety
send it
of
to
Porter
me,
Robinson's album Nurture. Okay?
I'd review it.
As you can see above, someone sent in
What's up, Dave's channel?
$424 during my stream today to listen to an entire one.
I just have a different outlook on it. I just have which obviously that's why this guy's making 30K a month and I'm not, but like I just have a completely different view on that kind of stuff.
Our album, which is completely against the rules as I have a 10-minute limit.
This concept was not unique to Brad Taste, as channels such as HiveMind have been known to react to music live, even for free, though Brad will lean into this content form more and more in the coming years. As for Brad and his channel, these both saw
You
many
know it,
improvements.
Dave's channel.
By the end of May, he reached over 100,000 subscribers, and by August, he had kicked his marijuana addiction. Yet, according to Tina, there were still unseen issues.
So he did quit weed in August of 2021. He still.
Can you imagine giving a serious fucking discussion with someone and you're like, well, yeah, he finally, you know, he finally got clean off of the weed. Like, come on. Come on.
Was that way. Still is this, he was the same person without the weed, but there weren't as many like explosive moments.
Tina
I
would
have
make
no idea,
appearances
He-Man.
on
I don't
Bradley's
watch.
Channel 3 vlog in
I
which
don't
the
watch
pair
those
went to several
channels.
21 Pilots
I'll
concerts.
see him if there's
and
like
through
somebody
reaction
sends
videos
me a
and the
clip
like,
or something.
such as this one where they created a Christmas music tier list. At the start of 2022, Brad uploaded another video where he was there.
I think it's gotta be because, again, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe, again, it's gotta be like primarily like people donating to get the music reacted to or like the donations. I just not the ad revenue. There's just, I guess though, the more people you have, the higher whatever your RPM or whatever is. But I mean, that's just, these are like, it does seem like it's either like crazy numbers or like feast or famine, pretty much.
Iraq is speaking about himself to his audience, this time with a positive report.
I dropped out of school to pursue what
I will say this though, I think it's very difficult to get any traction at all on YouTube. I think it's much easier. Twitch doesn't have great discoverability, but I really feel like it was still much easier. Of course, I had Grace's aura to help me, but like I just think it's really difficult to get anybody to watch you. And then once you get people watching you, it's hard to keep them watching you. It seems just like YouTube is constantly like sabotaging people.
I'm doing now. The last year or so has been really difficult for me because I've kind of just disappeared mentally off the map. Oh god, I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'll talk about it anyways. I was
Foreman was at Yellowstone.
I had a bad weed addiction. I just
I do not only focus on the ladies. I watch Tony Yeoman, Savvy Guy, Luke West, Jedi Rich, Ben Thorpe, Menard Report.
discovered weed, and it was just like it felt like it gave me a new life. And by that I mean I forgot everything that happened beforehand and became really isolated, and it felt like I was living on a different planet, and I became really disassociated.
Brad goes on to state that he is 5 months clean, but maintains he has a long way to go.
But
However,
I
even
can't
though
imagine it. I
weed-
can't imagine the scenario where weed is going to make me yell at people on the telephone. I can't fathom it. I have no idea. I smoked one strain one time that made me feel like that. And I was like, it didn't make me feel like that, but it made me feel like a little bit more anxious than normal. And I tried it a second time just to make sure that it was the actual weed. And then it was. And so I just never smoked that strain again. Like, it's weird to me to think that of weed making someone like, well, I mean, you just have to see the shit that this guy does and then blames it on weed.
Ended up becoming like a huge part of my life. My real drug of choice was video games.
Pussy.
Ever since I discovered them, it felt like the real world
Did you hear that, guys? This guy's problems is that he's addicted to weed and video games.
didn't actually matter. Felt like living didn't actually matter. Because this thing existed that I could do for an infinite amount of time, never get tired of it, always feel stimulated, and it's a safe place that I could always go to.
As for video games, Brad contends
love
that he has
Indica.
limited his game time and that it has
I'm
done
getting some
wonders
holy
for him.
grail soon.
He then
I can't
begins
wait.
to talk
I
about
like
Tina,
this, but
his
this
experiences
stuff, but
moving,
I'm ready for a
and how
change.
things got bad, but through kicking and limiting his habits, things got better.
What I ended up doing is I ended up moving out of state, away from everybody, to live with my fiance.
Medical. I know, it's
And-
ridiculous.
I thought that my problems were where I was. Sure, this is going to sound like a
Minar kind of looks like EFD now from certain angles.
cliche.
Is
but
the
my
glove on his
problems
hand for
came
jerk
with me.
juice?
It was 2022
Wow.
that Brad truly began making money on YouTube.
YouTube streams are basically my main source of revenue. I have a system
Oh, he has
where
like a
basically
ergonomic glove
you,
on. It look.
You send in a request, a PayPal request for however much you want.
Maybe he is playing a lot of video games because that's what you wear like for repetitive hand, whatever. Wonder what he's playing. League of Legends.
I'll react to a song, and then I'll give it a rating out of 10.
Oh, dude, good
And
call,
I
man.
found this
Kenny Omega
for
is a good
the
pick.
longest time to be the most dreaded part of working.
What's
I
Cornette
blame
calling
this
him?
for
Twinkle Toes,
me not caring
McFinger
about
Bang.
music anymore. I thought that it was just a pain to go in front of a bunch
Oh
of
my
people.
god, I thought the Twinkle Toes McFinger Bang thing was a joke, but it isn't. He really did stick his fingers up a guy's ass in a match. I really had no idea. What's up, Distinction? To me, weed's a complete positive in every aspect, unless it makes you like a little bit less ambitious. But like I'm here doing this like regularly. I'm making videos every day. I'm like the things I need to do are getting done like pretty seamlessly. So I just don't know what I can't imagine having $30,000 a month, weed, video games, and an online show and having any real problems in life.
But I think I get it.
I
now.
just can't.
I think I
playing
actually
Ca- oh
understand
my
it. And
God,
the reason I understand
Andy
it is
Crush.
because all of a sudden
WWE
streaming has become my
champions.
favorite part of working. I actually feel human interaction again.
According to Tina, they moved into a different apartment, and Brad continued to find ways to monetize his content, such as with this stream where the point
He
was
just
to make
always-
it through all
who's
of a
this guy
specific
behind
artist
him?
Album. The catch is, if viewers were to
Oh, he's
collectively
from
donate
he's in the
$1,000,
browser
then
thing.
Brad would have to start the process over again. This could extend to poorly received
Ambition is for
individual songs,
sociopaths,
and
true.
this certainly worked to bring in donations.
That is the worst.
Yeah,
like,
women.
That is so bad. Hey,
What?
look at this. Ned sent in 300.
Look at this fucking goal. $999 and it's full. They need one more dollar to hit the that's a fucking $1,000 to play the album over again.
Oh no! Oh my god! All right, well, it's a good thing you got food. You need fuel.
I remember hearing
That was from
about
a
it. I
July
don't think I actually
2022
saw it
stream.
though.
It was easy for Brad to make over $1,000 a day through these streams. Then in
$1,000
August,
a
Brad
day?
uploaded a video celebrating how far he had come.
Are you kidding me? I can't imagine it, man.
Hello everyone, my name is Bradley. I look like a little bit of a mess, but today I am recording this video because I am celebrating 1 year clean of weed. Looking back at that time, it is...
I don't think Thorpe Alert even covered the Lalo overdose, weed overdose, because I think a bunch of people had clipped it at the time, and I was like, it's kind of... But yeah, I didn't get to see the Ben thing. It sounds great, though.
sort of a...
Overdosing
just like a
on
hole
weed.
In my life journey, it feels like a giant blur. It seemed like a lot of stuff was going on, and I didn't really know how to explain any of it. I had a simulation way of explaining this that I'm going to show you guys. This is your brain, okay? And this was my brain on weed.
Can you imagine if you opened up the stream and this is what that guy that you knew was making a fucking $1,000 a day, and you open it up and he's telling you how all this money, this internet fame, these partner program deals, having a girlfriend that puts up with whatever he does, playing video games, getting high, and this is the result of it?
It looked something like this. Because weed served for me at least as a psychedelic as
You'd
well
rather pay the
as a
king's
stimulant.
tax.
So I was very
I don't
anxious.
understand that either. It makes me so frustrated whenever he's like, I can't believe this. It's going to be $30 a month. And he wants $300 a day for nothing. Like with no, and he was talking about like how they don't add anything on the Game Pass for the increase, which they do, but whether it's enough or not is up to the individual. But like he doesn't add anything extra to the show. He wants $300 a day just for being there. And then if you give him $1,500 or whatever, then he'll eat a meal that he picks. What a bargain.
all the time, so it was like
I don't want to name any names, but I stopped watching a particular channel because I went there and I was mind blown. They wanted $200 to eat a pizza, and I was like,
very stimulating,
Nah.
which made my ADHD go. And then it was a psychedelic to where I started seeing crazy shapes. I was able to
there
vision
you
things, really clearly.
That happened to a friend of mine, XP. Somebody asked him if he wanted to hit the joint, and he said yeah, and he was smoking it for a while, and then he found out it was laced.
Brad goes on to claim that marijuana affected his short-term memory.
What's up, BB?
Making it so I could be in one room and go to the
He was
next
probably
room
hanging out
and
in a
have,
gay bathhouse.
Like, I could kind of remember what I was doing in the
Could
other
be.
room, but it didn't feel like anything really happened. Like, literally, it felt like I just was, like I just spawned out of nowhere.
Brad then talks
No,
about
because
the traumatic
it's not.
experience.
It's to me, it's a bad thing, but like it's normal practice on YouTube. So it's not like it's even something bad to do. It's just something for me, like as a viewer, it's like an immediate nope out for me.
He had while under the influence while watching the show The Good Place. In essence, the characters that are in The Good Place.
So again, he's having these delusions, and he had a life-changing moment because of the show The Good Place with Ted Danson.
The pseudo-heaven ask an assistant what the bad place is like.
I can only play you a brief audio clip of what is happening there right now.
Okay. It looks up like all happy, and then it's just. That shit destroyed me. Like, that, mentally, I snapped. Like, if I could describe what the feeling was like, it was as if I was falling back in my own head and I thought I was gonna die.
It was this bad trip that Brad claims kicked off an 8-month period of torture, anxiety,
Get attacked
paranoia,
by all
and
the
disassociation.
e-drifters.
What eventually made me quit was I was talking with my therapist, and I mean, I was talking with my therapist for about a year up to that point, and I just couldn't figure out what was going on, what was wrong. And the problem with smoking weed is, like, you really think you're seeing something that the whole.
So again, what gave this guy an existential crisis, psyche-breaking moment was on the sitcom The Good Place. They played a brief audio clip that insinuated that, surprise, surprise, people that are in hell are unhappy. And he's like, that absolutely destroyed me.
The world isn't. Like, your eyes are open, or at least in my experience, my issue with it is I thought I was seeing everything that, like, nobody else was understanding, and it just caused me to disconnect with what anyone else was saying. I became super distrustful of my
That's what
partner,
he says,
literally
distinction.
anybody but myself. After quitting, it was hell for the first month or so.
We just have to
straight
have
hell.
notice
I was on
if you want, if
antipsychotics
that's
because
what's
I thought
going
I
to
was
a
just
Tombstone Pizza
literally
live on
supposed
stream.
to feel
Yeah.
better after a month, like, and I wasn't feeling better. I just straight up was not connecting to the world. I was very disassociative.
Brad claims it took around 10 months to start feeling normal again. Brad also states that he got to this point because the channel was succeeding. Therefore, outside of work, he had two things: time and money, both spent on smoking marijuana to no end.
And my therapist, you told me this too, and he helped me a lot with quitting.
That's how I sound
He
talking to
said,
people about
if I don't
Hooplandia.
stop, I'm going to lose everything.
Brad stuck to his sobriety. Even with the turmoil 2023 brought, he was able to reach 2 years clean.
2
I'm
years
genuinely
clean.
so excited to be recording this video that I accept the fact that the background and everything might look a little scuffed. But I've been waiting to record this for a very long time, to the point of where it's like it almost feels like a countdown to a holiday for me. And that,
My
of course,
feet are-
is the fact that I am reaching 2 years clean of weed. I feel like the ultimate trial, though, and what really showed me that I've come a very far way, very long way, was when I was in Detroit, where weed is legal and it is everywhere. And I mean everywhere. The smell, I saw weed. It was like in arm's reach.
Brad revealed that marijuana was not the only substance he was on.
Oh!
It wasn't just weed. I was taking specifically Adderall for my ADHD.
Oh, okay.
And these two drugs together were probably the most intense feeling I've ever felt in my life.
Okay, look, if you take a handful of opiates and then you drink a bottle of champagne, were you killed by the champagne? Were you killed by the opiates? Or were you killed by, like, you not taking medication as prescribed? You know what I mean?
But with that being said, here's the kicker. And here's the difficult part about weed addiction. Because all of this is to say the journey doesn't end. In fact,
The
I
journey
feel like
doesn't end, guys.
Where I'm at right now, I'm still like telling myself I'll reconsider in 3 years. You know, and that's what it is. It's right now. I'm like, in 3 years from now, an extra 3 years, I'll reconsider if I ever want to touch weed again, which is probably going to be a horrific mistake. But even
I
now,
know.
it's like I still think about
Jeez,
it.
man.
You know, I still think about it. I will make another update next year. Hopefully,
Honk,
it's
honk.
gonna be.
This guy's a
3 years
complete
clean from
clown,
weed.
man.
That would be nice.
30K a
Brad
month.
in that
This
video
guy.
stated he was tempted while visiting Detroit. Though he does not provide a reason for the visit, he did, in around 2023, end up seeing the
That's how
creators
lots
the
of
channel
people
Hive
die.
Mind, which may have been the reason for
And
the
people
prior
always
visit.
want to blame it on the opiates or the alcohol, but no, everybody who takes drugs knows that you're not supposed to do that. And some people do it anyway, but I just think it's blaming the two things that were separate, and this person chose to combine knowing what would happen. Like, of course, and the whole time, we don't even hear about the Adderall. There'll probably be like 2 more drugs pop up. Well, I was actually taking, overdosing on fentanyl.
As well.
Shout out Brad, Taste
But
of
I'm
Music.
clean from the weed.
What a solid dude. What a great guy. We got to hang out
Dirt,
with Brad last
mids,
week
and
go
kind
see
bud.
Danny Brown.
They have a classy dinner.
And we got,
Dude, now the only time a street person tries to up price is, for some reason, all the ones that I know think that if it's got any purple in it, that it's like, and it's automatically an exotic, and that always pisses
we
me
had an
off.
amazing
That
dinner.
was fun.
That was like, yeah, such a great time. Shout out to Brad and to Tina, two of our very best friends.
That was a clip from a Hive Mind livestream. Hive Mind and Brad have seemingly
Yeah,
grown
I don't doubt
closer
that
and
people have
begun a
bad
friendship.
reactions, but I
Even
think
Tina,
common
in December
sense
of
would tell you to quit
2023,
doing
could
it
be
at that
seen
point.
reacting to music in one of their live streams. And though Brad had turned his life around, 2023 did challenge him. This mostly involved Brad's reviews affecting the artist and their communities. Or in the case of Ronnie Radke, mostly the artist, as Brad had gone
Ronnie
into a Twitter
Radke.
spat with the controversial lead singer of the band Falling in Reverse. There are 2 important things about these exchanges. First, it demonstrated that Brad could operate under stress. Just like he did in 2018 when he was getting his first wave of hate, he continued to remain stalwart in his beliefs as a critic should. The second important thing is that the exchanges with Radke got Brad to post this image. Brad stated that he had somehow earned $313,000.
Look at this complete. I mean, can you believe this, guys? In 1 year, just from tips, $313,032.23. Like, can you fucking imagine having that coming in just from tips? That's not ad revenue. I'm assuming that's not memberships. Tips might even be just like the shit that went to his PayPal or his Cash App or whatever. Like, how in the world?
$1,000 from tips alone in the last 2 months,
This is
though he
just-
likely
I
met
can't
in
believe
the
it.
last 12. Regardless, Brad was doing well for himself. The
That's
Radke
true,
saga
Daninsky.
continued far into 2023, with Radke's music label blocking Brad's reviews, leading to creator Anthony Fantano denouncing Radke and promoting Brad. Brad was inarguably successful. In March of 2024, he was actively streaming for 16 hours a day, and also posting these cut-down streams to YouTube.
Streaming for 16 hours a day? I wonder if that's the weed or I wonder if that's the Adderall. Come on, bro.
In the last month alone, I've received 1,100 song requests and about 50 album requests. This was amongst streaming for like 16 hours at a time at points, doing nothing but listening to me.
He like picks out a map.
Yeah, imagine seeing that money distinction hitting every month and you're like, oh man, my life is just terrible. I've got to play League of Legends.
I think at this time he was probably making 20 to 30K.
My
a
life's
month.
collapsing.
And he was so like excited about it. He's
16
like, oh my gosh, I get
hours a day, man.
I get to like have my girlfriend at home, my fiance. We were engaged for 3.5 years.
That would be a lot
He's like, I
even
get to
for
have
like
my fiance
VP.
At home and like hang out with her all day and blah blah blah. And you know, I was helping him with stuff. Towards the end, he actually rented an empty like commercial space, like a studio, and I was meeting with contractors and planning things to have an actual like outside of our apartment, an actual like office to work in.
I feel like if I look at my bank account and I have $313,000 just from tips, I'd be like, you know what, guys, let's take we're gonna do the next year. We're just gonna chill, and I'm gonna react to the stuff that you ask for without charging you for it. Like,
And
It was at the pinnacle that everything changed. It was in 2024 that everything stopped. And as a consequence of his own compounding
Good
decisions,
God, man.
slowly everything would be taken away.
All right, let's start from the beginning of like where things.
So this is what I think. This is the video that we watched. It was right at the beginning of like his big recent collapse. I think we watched this video. It's pretty classic.
Went wrong. I went to a show. It was a live show in California. It was Ethan Klein and Ela Klein performing. I had backstage passes. I met them. I talked with them. Like, I post a picture that I have with me, some friends, my fiance, Ethan and Ela Klein. So, like, I basically just went against them and said, you know what, I need to back out. I can't do this. You know, this is too hot. And then everyone called me a pussy.
To his Instagram, like he's posting Instagram stories, you know, calling Brad out for kind of backtracking and throwing Ethan under the bus.
Yes, I backed down and gave up. Call it spineless. I can handle that.
Over 1 million followers on Instagram. And we got home. I mean, Brad was just like spiraling then.
Look at me and accept what you have done to me. Do you see what I've become?
This sounds like a Ben Thorpe promo. Let's listen to it again.
Brad was just like spiraling then.
Look at me and accept what you have done to me. Do you see what I've become?
Oh, it's crazy hearing people say.
Don't you see what I've become? What an this is weed? I've never had a Jekyll and Hyde experience with weed. Like, that is crazy talk. Take a look at what you've done to me. Oh my God.
I like that I'm fake.
I gotta hear it again.
Look at me and accept what you have done to me. Do you see what I've become?
God
It's crazy
damn.
hearing people say like that I'm fake crying into the phone. Like, I was scared for my fucking life.
The destabilization of Brad began mid-2024. Perhaps even on the
Destabilization.
stream that took place in May.
I just completed a live stream where I immediately got a channel warning. Now, this has never happened before, but I really believe that this is not fair. For me, for my content, and for what I do, because I do believe that it falls under fair use.
So keep in mind, this guy's making over at least $300K a year just from tips by listening to other people's shit. And now one person has been like, no, we don't want this on, we don't approve of this.
Especially for a channel like this where it is about discussing and reviewing music directly.
He's
In the
got to
middle of
be
reacting to
streaming
Billie Eilish's
16
new
hours a
album
day.
live, Brad received a channel warning. In essence, as a YouTuber,
Warning.
you are allotted 3 copyright
Warning.
strikes before your channel is terminated. The thing is, Brad did not receive one of these strikes. He only received a warning. Despite the lack of danger to his channel, he does not.
I got one of those. They left the video up, so I think they eventually it's back up now. But the stream where VP got out of the pool and her bottom like clung. Somebody reported that for like nudity or something, and I got a warning about it. But then they eventually removed the warning and said the content was fine.
Presented as such.
In other words, I am now all of a sudden
How many
out of
followers?
nowhere,
Oh, a tons,
liable
man.
to lose
Let me
everything that
see.
I've worked on for years.
Now he's lost a lot
now
of them.
all of a sudden there
lately.
is a risk involved with me doing this. Is horrible. It's terrifying, and I am basically posting this to let people know.
Well, actually, see, we were just talking the other day, I think it might have been yesterday, about how follower count or sub count doesn't really matter. And obviously this guy's lost a ton of subs since all this started, but right now he's at 332K subscribers, which is less than the Jedi. But like I said, I'm sure he's lost a ton of them with everything that's been going on.
To get people aware of this, that this is happening.
Struck for the
'Cause,
VP box,
so
it is.
With that being said, I am unfortunately.
It was a rare instance where like I commented in the chat to her about what I had just witnessed. And then I don't think she really knew how to take it. And so she just addressed it that yes, it was part of her anatomy and just moved on.
Fortunately, unable to continue
I
the
put
stream
patriotic camel
as
toe
is
in the
until
chat.
the appeal goes through and I see the result of which, or else they say that I will be basically banned from uploading or streaming for a week.
None of this is true. A warning literally does nothing. It doesn't affect you in any way whatsoever. Nothing. Like nothing happens from a warning.
Which for me is a really big deal because this is my
Rich
job.
buys bots
I have
all the
a
time. That's
fiancé
true.
Who relies on me. I have dogs. This is basically how I
Or
survive.
it seems like it's possible. I guess
This
it could be
same
somebody
day,
botting
after Brad
them.
ended his stream, he uploaded a video titled "This is really bad," giving an update on the situation.
I just made a video talking about how I got a third-party content warning on my channel.
It's a warning. Who cares?
Talked about how I'm a review channel. How
I can understand if he got a strike and he was like, "Fuck, this sucks," because if he gets another one, then he's at risk, and his kind of content is susceptible to it. But if I was making $330,000 a year off of tips, I would probably negotiate with some like indie bands or something, or ask a record label if I could react to this song, if I would react to whatever album they were promoting at the time. You know what I mean? I would try to be proactive and avoid that kind of stuff.
I'll just
Daninsky, I didn't build a fence around it. I put it on the internet.
Now, this is really...
I re-uploaded it to the internet for everybody.
This is really bad. Like, it's so bad. It was just like so quickly they looked over it and decided it's a violation. And it's like, I have the footage. Like, I'm pausing, I'm talking about the music. This is... Well, I don't know why I'm being picked out. If they just decide again out of nowhere, oh, third-party content, it's like it's a strike. I can't upload, and they could just keep doing this. And
The comments are not only in support of Brad, many of them, through YouTube Super Thanks, donated
30%.
money. The top comment even donated $500.
Look at this! Can you imagine making a video where you are just literally crybabying about something that's not even true? You're saying like, "Oh, my channel's at risk." No, it isn't. It's a fucking warning. A warning is like nothing at all. And somebody's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna drop $500." Like, give me a break.
To clarify, this is all because...
Seeing Brad cry like this is like seeing your dad cry. This hits hard. Oh my god.
Brad feared he might be getting a YouTube strike in the future, which would shortly bar him from streaming, not because he actually got a strike. Then 3 days later, on May 20th, he uploads this.
oh yeah, don't do this again. They don't tell you what not to do again, so of course I'm going to assume that it's the album that I'm listening to.
Yes! Maybe go and look at the album. Who's the artist? Don't react to any more of their music. Look who the record label is. Either don't react to that record label or reach out to the record label directly. And in the meantime, listen to bands and record labels that you know you've reacted to in the past without incident and move on. And just fucking cry, dry your tears with your stacks of like thousands of dollars.
That just came out. It's brand new. Not the Charlie XCX song that played while I got up.
Yes, XP.
To use the bathroom before coming back to re-listen to the whole album and critique it. There's a solace in knowing that it actually is my fault. You know?
Brad explains that the strike was not due to him listening to the new Billie Eilish album, but because he got up to use the bathroom and left a Charlie XCX song playing, which YouTube later clarified was the issue. Something with Brad was unbalanced. He was starting to act erratic.
So essentially the idea is, I mean, it's obvious, but just in case you're just kind of like passively listening, the issue with what he did was, it wasn't that he was reacting to the song, It's that he let an extended portion of it play without doing anything. It was just literally playing the song. So if you've got a 3.5 minute song, it's got to take him at least, 90 seconds to get up and piss and come back, maybe, if he hit every green light on the way to the bathroom. Like, so half of the content with no reaction at all, that makes sense, and it's something that's very easy to avoid.
Just 5 days after the YouTube warning was resolved, Brad posted this lengthy text on Twitter.
Savvy
it reads,
guy.
Quote, "I'm done reviewing anything 21 Pilots related.
Oh,
Everyone
boy.
was so happy when I enjoyed
This
the
is
first
me
single.
when I said I wasn't
No
going to
one
cover the
had a
Thorpes
single
anymore.
issue with me. And since I didn't enjoy the full album, the fans have shown themselves as just
Everyone
a
was
bunch
so
of
happy
weirdos.
during summer
I actually
2024.
Really
No one had a
expected to love
single
this
issue with
album
me.
and left it feeling
But
like
now, since I
stunk.
don't enjoy the
amount
Kick
of people
content,
saying
the
I
Thorpes
went
have
in
shown
to hate
themselves
it, or
as
I
a
was
bunch of
just
weirdos.
influenced by chat is insane. This level of delusion and distrust is so rude. I've been giving my
Yes, that was the problem, is that you had two people that were just completely ludicrous going after each other, which made Brad look really bad, in my opinion, because people already knew that Ronnie was a weirdo.
Honest opinion on this band for years, and people who have loved my stuff for years are turning on me for one video where they disagree with me. So yeah, this band doesn't deserve any more of my attention. People would have been stoked if I loved it. No one would be criticizing me and how I dissect the album if I enjoyed these songs. I see this time and time again. You people are hypocrites, I'm done." Unquote. The top reply to Brad's tweet reads, "You're so weird." And though there are some comments of support, a fair amount of Twitter users are pointing out how they
That's
believe
exactly
Brad
what
did
you
not
should
give
say.
the album a fair shake. But more importantly, how strange or unfair Brad's statement was. As a reviewer, he was openly caving to poor reception. As a creator, he was showing that negative comments were affecting him, no doubt emboldening
Oh my
bad
gosh.
actors. Brad was erratic. One of the few things that could make this worse would be introducing marijuana, the substance known for bringing out his worst
That's true,
behaviors.
Ananje.
Despite knowing the risks, knowing how much it affects his mental
The
state
head
and
mod.
life, and understanding that using it to relieve temporary anxiety would only
They
increase it in
fucked
the long
Ronnie
run,
Radke.
Brad, in June of 2024,
That's kind of what yeah, I know what you mean, Ananje. That's kind of similar to what like Chud Logic and some of the other commentators do. They'll have like their full, the only way to really see it like unedited is when it's live, and then they take it down and like carve it up and like edit out the TOS shit.
was reintroduced to the substance. Late June 2024, creators H3H3, also known as Ethan and Ela, were doing a live...
He deleted all of his recent comments or recent content, I think, Dave. He was very active until very recently, within the last like month or month and a half. And we'll see it all in the documentary, but like, yeah, he's posted stuff and then immediately regretted it. And I don't think he was doing regular content though, just weird responding to allegations.
Live show in LA. Brad and Tina attended the show. Afterwards, H3H3, even though they were unaware of who Brad was, were generous enough to give him and Tina backstage passes. And Ela allegedly talked to Brad all night. This is the origin of the infamous Twitter post and picture. It is captioned with H3's famous phrase, "Great moves." As any fan or detractor of H3H3 knows, they are highly controversial as they have shared their opinions on what is...
Why wouldn't you just tell people, look, I'm a YouTuber, these people are popular, they're successful YouTubers, I went to the event, I took pictures with them, deal with it. Like, I never know. I don't understand what he did with this. I thought it was a terrible, like, strategically.
It's happening in Israel and Palestine. There are even continued disagreements on what their stances are. This is to say, any opinion on them will be viewed with split reaction. Brad's photo with them was no exception. The following day, Brad tweets...
Why is someone trying to dox you? What did you do to
stating
somebody?
What is happening in Palestine is awful. He continues by stating that his family members were actually killed at the hands of Hamas. And that...
Who are the people out there who are like, I simply must know that Brad taste in music stands for what I believe in? Who cares? Like, he's a fucking music reactor. Why do you need to have everything in common with him?
That he stands with Palestine alongside addressing the rift the war has caused in his own family. He ends the tweet chain with, quote, "I'm going to do my best to keep educating myself and listening to Palestinian voices. and I hope you guys are able to be patient with me as I genuinely try to learn. I also want to thank the people in my community whose collective outcry helped me break out of my harmful mindset." Unquote. In some spaces, this was viewed positively. Brad was apologetic and gave a promise to learn. In other spaces, Brad appeared to act without conviction, caving in the moment things got hot, making these statements not because he actually cared.
Is it only in that chat, BB, or have you seen it in other chats?
Affirmed that taking a photo with H3H3 was a
Those
statement.
are pretty small
This
chats,
was instead of
though. It's
relying
probably
on the
not
more
like a.
innocuous intent
I saw a
of taking
video
a photo
about
of a creator he was a fan of outside
bots
of the
scraping
geopolitics of the world.
data and
Brad
putting
was seen
shit like
as
that
a
in
backstabber, especially
chat,
by
weird
H3H3
shit like that into
and their
chats.
community. As such, when Brad tweeted about H3H3 having really strong and dangerous opinions, Ethan from H3H3 screenshotted the post and captioned it with, quote, "I'm still waiting to know what these strong and dangerous opinions are."
Healthy
Unquote.
Family Force,
As
Dave's
Ethan
channel.
and others were displeased with him, Brad was
The
now
Jedi.
posting about struggling to handle all the noise that was coming from having an opinion, going as far to say that he's seen every side of the situation mad at him for a different reason. He was struggling to make everyone happy. Ethan
You
responded
can't
to
do
this as
that.
well.
You literally can't. Luke has these same issues sometimes. Like you're never gonna make even probably half the people happy all the time. Like just make your content, listen to your music, cash your checks, and if somebody's mad at you because they don't share your opinion on a fucking Middle East conflict, like, okay.
Saying that he does not blame Brad for his response and that his heart goes out to the people suffering
Asinine.
in Gaza and that he will continue to support Palestine. Brad was panicked. He was struggling to find the answer to the impossible question on how to please everyone. He was continuing to grow more and more erratic, more and more in need for some tranquility.
It was Paro.
This is when everything got even worse.
We got
Was it
home,
really?
And he got weed and basically kept smoking. So
The effects of the substance on Brad were immediate.
Yo, Allie, 4 minutes ago says, "Hey, Brad, I heard you mentioning a struggle with disassociation. I've been having the same experience for years after a bad Thank you, Allie.
Brad sits in silence for nearly 30 seconds.
Hell yeah,
almost
this is
frozen.
the good shit.
While it was clear he was live, it was not clear if he was present. He initially attempts to play this off and continue on with the stream, but it doesn't work, so he begins to explain himself.
Kino.
Bad drug trips are not like... life doesn't really feel like a movie, you know, when something that... But I'll just say that I started feeling disassociative around the exact same time I had a really bad trip as well. And I'm sorry, just the mention of it is kind of just brought it up again, I guess.
That moment, XP, was his that was like the moment where Dr. Disrespect got the text that the story was coming out, or Grace was reading the text from Dagny that the offer had been rescinded.
Which
he's definitely attention seeking, 100%. Big time.
It's really like you.
I just feel like the majority of people, you couldn't waterboard them to act this way on stream and say some of the stuff he said.
You did nothing wrong. I really appreciate it.
Brad struggles to find
They
words
would think
until...
like, I can't go on here and act this way because I'm making $300,000 a year in tips. Like, I can't risk that to talk about how I have psychotic breakdowns over TV sitcoms.
He is overwhelmed with emotion.
I'm not going to talk about it, but it was just like, yeah, it's hard.
Somebody's going to donate $499.
Bad drug trip, like a real one, like a really existential one, it just feels like you don't know how to explain it, and it instantly feels like it changes your life. And you just instantly feel like you will not be the same again. It's like you feel a switch on your brain turn on. No, I appreciate.
Take a
that.
break if you need one. Fuck, man, that's dark. Want to
it's-
talk? Can you imagine if somebody said that shit?
I'm not. It's not that I'm happy that you're going through it. It's just nice to know that someone else.
Hey, Ben,
I'm
sounds like you're
just
going
not
through a
alone in
tough
this
day,
shit.
buddy. Want to talk about it?
It's like every day.
Yeah, do you remember when Logan Paul caught all that heat because he said one time in an interview that not everyone is built to be an influencer? Like, I think that's accurate. I don't even think it's really that mean. But I mean, he's right. And honestly, the vast majority of people probably wouldn't want that level of attention. They would want the money, but they like wouldn't actually like enjoy the experience of having that level of like fame. But I think he's right, and I think it's just weird to me because I feel like if this guy could just have the most minor amount of self-control, all he's got to do is listen to music. That's it. It's not like he has to come. He's not like he's writing, elaborate scripts, or he has to go out and like farm content IRL. They're sending him the content. He doesn't even have to look up the songs.
It's hard, and I have to just cope with the new way that my brain works.
Brad was possibly
Backing
talking about his
down,
bad trip related
it just
to watching
never.
The Good Place. Little did his audience know he was no longer
It's
far
hardly
removed
ever a
from
good
the
look.
substance that caused that experience.
Now, I'll say this. If you feel like you make a statement and then you're wrong, and you think that, like, okay, I want to go back and just clarify, like, I was wrong. I said this. I found out later on that was wrong. That's different than, like, backing down. But, like, to enthusiastically accept a backstage visit, to talk with his wife all night, like, you know who they are. You know what they stand for. They're very open. It's very obvious. And then just to completely 180 after a little bit of pressure online, like, that's just not a good look.
Day in and day out, according to Tina, Brad was smoking and getting worse. July 4th, 2024, an anonymous post appears
This is one of the greatest Thorpe streams of all time, the July 4th.
on the Brad Taste in Music subreddit. Quote,
Grace waving a
IDK
gun
how much
around.
of this community would care, but Brad's not a great guy, and I have a feeling more will come out in the next year. Let's say your boy is obsessed with money. Not a secret, he only values clout. But he likes to take that money his fans so graciously throw at his streams and uses it to fund a casino gambling addiction and to cheat on his long-suffering partner.
I do think some of it is absolutely him probably reacting to people giving him money when he has the real breakdowns,
Who he neglects and expects to do everything for him still. Big Baller B.
Yep,
ain't
July.
a
I wanted
character.
it on the
It's who he
4th,
secretly thinks
but
he is. Check the strip club's receipt, Brad. We see you.
South to West, can you imagine if it would have been July 4th, the 249th anniversary of our country, and the final episode of Kings on Independence Day?
Man's making 100 grand plus, something he privately flexes a month off his fans and YouTube ads, but gets on camera crying and saying he's got a fiance to support when he can't stream for a single week. Fuck Otto with that lying shit. Unquote. Due to this post's anonymous nature, it is disreputable. There have been no indications that Brad has these habits. It is likely a troll attempting to derail Brad. This is what the reaction would have been if ARTV, the channel that initially indirectly helped launch Brad's own channel, didn't claim he made this post. Quote, and what if I told you that I'm the one who made the post, just to see how people would react to an anon account versus someone with credibility. Unquote. ARTV goes on to state that he knows he's making an enemy of Brad, but he's also put off in how Brad's been acting. He then links to evidence that Brad called him. While this is not available, these screenshots are. They are
Is it really
ARTV
Hurricane
later
Paro
reaching out
that's
to
trying
Tina,
to dox
informing her that
BB?
Brad went to strip clubs, was blowing $10,000 a night gambling, and as Tina later confirmed,
He's spending
$40,000 for an
a year on
HJ.
WWE
Some of these
champions.
details were still not yet public, and ARTV would soon remove his
4K
post.
for a hand job.
Haruko,
Get the
Brad's
fuck
editor at
outta
the
here
time,
with that,
would come
man.
to his defense, stating that they believe this is either false information or that ARTV was lying.
Watch the
Going
Ben
as
interview
far
on
to
this
say
stream?
that
I don't
ARTV
know.
appeared
That'd
as
be
a
kinda
scummy,
weird.
untrustworthy, immature person. In a second post, Haruko doubles down and states that even if it was all true, then what would be ARTV's place to air it all out? Brad was safe. Even though these claims were credible,
Brad
they
is a gay
continued to
name,
not appear
fair.
as such at the time. However, what was now public information was that Brad had relapsed, as these
Man, I was
streamers were
smoking
reacting
that
too.
Gorilla Glue
It's
vape
embarrassing.
during that
it's
interview.
sad, but it's true and important to address. I did break my 3-year sobriety.
No.
Oh no, Chud Logic. Oh no. What happened,
This
Brad?
happened
Oh
around
no.
early July. As such, on July 8th, Brad released a video titled Opening Up.
What's up, you guys? It's Bradley.
I was gonna
here,
say,
and
if it was
I
Paro, I'd send
am
him a
very
message.
nervous recording this, and I'd like to set
Dude,
the
who
record
the
straight and
fuck
say
would
that,
pay for a hand job?
I was not well. I've not been well over the last handful of years, and a lot of what I've said has been just straight up delusional.
I love
Brad
Gorilla
in
Glue.
this video frames his smoking
Hand job is like
happening
the
as
worst
if it were in the past
possible
and not the present.
Or not 2000.
relief
2020.
method.
Where I was very mentally unstable and very unwell.
Unless you're watching
This,
lingerie
of course,
streams in the
combined
back of
with
the
fact
RV
that I
and
did end up starting to
cranking
smoke weed was
it.
really bad. What ended up happening is when I was smoking weed, I started actually working through some stuff.
Paro
And
smokes the
I've
pole.
been
Wow, what a
basically-
take.
I quit weed, and I shouldn't have done it even before 25 or whatnot.
Despite Brad already coming
Savvy
out
guy
with a
does
relapse,
pay for
he
him,
does not
according
state
to
as
him.
such in this video.
He just doesn't pay for
does,
the
however,
box.
talk about his traumatic experience watching The Good Place and explains that
He don't
had
want-
the
he's worried about
revelation that he
STDs.
was very manipulative.
What ended up happening is I saw myself in a show about morality. I saw the fact that I was mistreating my parents, I was abandoning everyone, I wasn't listening to anyone but myself, and that I was a very selfish person.
Oh, you're all I need,
I saw
weed.
that for my whole life, I've been taking the easy route.
What a weirdo.
And I've been manipulating people. I'm a very manipulative person. Or at least I was.
I agree, I love
Though
Gorilla
Brad
Glue.
states he was, implying he is no longer manipulative, evidence would come out representing the contrary.
I'm gonna smoke Gorilla Glue tomorrow during the Memphis old school wrestling pizza party.
For now, Brad was still in the midst of the H3H3 photo fallout and was feeling generous. On July 11th, Brad posted in support of a smaller creator known as Rose Malay, stating they are
Okay, so this person is really interesting. I don't know much about him, but everything I've seen about him, they get such a strong reaction from people. And this seems like it's someone who's like intimately involved in kind of the dismantling of Brad right here at the end.
a content creator who has been making huge improvements.
Well, when
and
we
that
get
they
to the
recently
end.
made a video covering Brad. The issue here is that Rose Malay is a universally disliked figure. Brad, likely taking the lesson that one should be stalwart in their stances, was now, on Twitter, defending a creator who in the past advocated for relationships with animals and endorsed those that ignore consent. Even when presented with the screenshots of Rose saying these things, Brad would not budge. Brad even quote-tweeted the original tweet, calling him out, and continued to double down on his stances that Rose is mentally ill and sympathy should be had. Later in the day, he started to backtrack as he took down the post in defense of her. Then, on the 13th, he came out with an apology, stating he was sorry for platforming Rose and that he saw his own mental disability in her. Here, he also claims
Mental
that he did not know
disability,
about
huh?
the full extent of Rose's opinions. It was only when he was made fully aware of everything that he decided to make it clear how he feels about her. This is where
See,
it could have ended.
he backed down on this, and I'm not saying that in this case I'm not judging him, but I'm just saying he backed down, and there was a very negative consequence for that.
But then Rose uploaded a video expressing her sadness in Brad's betrayal. Then, a few days later, she uploaded a video striking back at Brad.
I believe they were trans. I was so wrapped up in my own that I was just like, I don't care.
What do you
about
mean
your
you get
gender.
FOMO from not
you're
participating in?
I mean, my God, I didn't even
You were,
realize
you
that
were.
word had been.
If I'm remember, now of course my memory, is a little not what it used to be, but weren't you, as Ruby Spacek was literally crying and sobbing after the D-Dog thing, and you came in and told her that you, make sure if I think I get this right, I think you told her how could she meet up with somebody who had said the things that had been said about her brother? That
And on
seems
an
like
island
kind of
isolated, and You
participatory.
couldn't say it anymore. I said it in a fucking awful context too.
I was transphobic at 17. I liked Trump at 17. Rose remembers. I can tell you for sure that I've said the N-word, but you guys already knew this. Come on. Oh my God, I know, it's terrible. You guys are acting like you've Never said something you weren't supposed to say before? Come on, chill.
Those were the first 32 seconds of Rose's video. A little over
That was the first 32 seconds of the video she put out on him. That's like a Wings documentary.
a minute in, she shares the information that Brad didn't know the full extent of Rose's comments, which directly contradicts his
I'm not
public
saying
apology.
it wasn't a valid question.
is
I'm just saying
very
I do think
clearly
distinction
responding to
can
one of my
consider that at
comments
least
about rape.
mild
Those tweets are both
participation.
still up. So for him to say that he had no idea is just a blatant lie and an attempt to save face, because what he cares about most is not losing his audience. Brad has told me in the past that he doesn't care
yes,
what
that's
I post,
even worse.
and that
That's
he
even
also
worse than what I said.
for attention. He's just more careful about how he does it.
Brad had been embroiled in controversy nonstop for a few weeks now, but
Yeah,
there
but
was
you said it
respite
to her
when
face, man.
H3H3 began talking about
You said it. Not only did you say it to her face, you said it to her while she was fucking bawling, man. Like while she was crying and she was having such like intense regret, but also like anger because she felt like she should be able to do what she wants to do, and yet that I think there was part of her that wishes that she hadn't done it, especially once a lot of things were being pointed out to her. But like you said it directly to her. Saying it to a react video is like, man, you put it right on her in the moment on her stream.
Brad and started making steps to mend things.
Okay, so there's this dude. I don't want to go too hard on this guy, but at the same time,
Brad,
I do want to.
You've since reconciled. Oh, of course.
Say that this guy's an idiot.
Brad,
we gave you backstage access. We spend like a considerable amount of time like connecting and talking with you, and then you use it to go online.
Are you a bad
and
guy? I didn't
fucking,
say that.
like, throw me to the wolves. Like, I was offended. I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? That's so lame. Like, why did you even
I
come?
attach no
Ethan
judgment
also
to any of
covers how
these
even though he
comments.
did not know who Brad was, he
I mean,
gave
I
him his
laughed when
passes.
you said
and
it.
upon
It was-
investigation, Brad could actually be
It's
found in the
really-
chat during
it's
live
really
streams.
bold.
So just as Rose exposed and are falling out with him, Brad was also likely aware of the controversy surrounding Ethan, making it evident that in both cases he was lying about not knowing about the
Oh,
controversy
man.
surrounding these figures in attempts to appease
There's
or
a
rather
lot of
attempts
weird
to
shit,
manipulate
man.
the masses.
I don't want to talk about this, though.
Go ahead. What's wrong with Ethan, motherfucker? Explain it. You didn't think there was enough wrong with me when you came to my show and like took advantage of our hospitality and came and spent the whole night with us, yucking it up.
Back down from Rose, and she's torching him with A-log videos. He backed down on H3H3. Now on their gigantic platform, they're gonna expose the guy.
And the part that people don't know that I thought was especially spineless and lame is that him and Ela were
I really don't think you're a bad person for asking that, because I think the precedent is there because Ruby has talked about it so much, and she specifically like has not just pointed out that like, hey, these things being said were terrible, but like that she thought the people who said those things were like, to me it sounded like borderline irredeemable to her. So I do think that whether or not you should have asked it, like, I don't think you're a bad person for asking it, because it was like it was already kind of out there.
talking shop about, Israel and talking about the war and everything all night. And then he comes home and be like, oh, they're dangerous. They have dangerous
Oh, so he was
opinions.
siding
Like,
with Israel at the
bro,
party.
The problem is that he just
And Palestine on
says
Twitter.
whatever he thinks people want to hear, which is a terrible way to conduct yourself.
Later in the podcast, Brad was able to call in where the two de-escalate the building tension.
I didn't know what I was doing. I listened to my audience because I didn't really even know what I believed in. So
Here we go. Joe Shabatoni, what's worse than backing down? Backing down and then getting pressure for backing down, so you back down from the back down.
I just did whatever, just said and tried to do whatever to just make it so I didn't have to feel the pain of the situation of maybe I did something wrong, This is what I've heard from people who I've trusted, and instead of doing my own research and actually coming up with my
in the
own
kitchen
opinion on
scene,
what you said,
Ananje?
I just parroted what they said.
Right. But at any rate, breaks are good. Get yourself together. We still love. We want Brad's taste. We want Brad to continue to taste. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Keep tasting.
And I will.
There was an issue with this podcast, as Brad allegedly stated he was taking a break from being online, yet
When I win the lottery, in addition to kickstarting Heroes of Wrestling, I'm going to commission June the King to make the definitive summer 2024 Thorpumentary.
Made an appearance here. Supposedly, his mod team was fed up with
The
his
pain.
lies, so they made all his videos private, rebranded and kicked him out of his Discord server, and deleted his subreddit.
Anti-Tom
This is
Petty.
why on his social blade, there is negative 9 million views in July of 2024, and an 8+ million when the majority of the videos were made public again. Peruko, Brad's editor, claims that the mods did not private his videos. It was Brad. However, Peruko does corroborate that the mods did rebrand the Discord server and did lock his subreddit. Peruko
So
had been an
this
outspoken
guy was going so off the deep end that his mod team was like, hey, we've got to lock this. We got to take this Discord away from him. And they cooed him and took his Discord and rebranded it. So it's not like they took it to impersonate him. They took it and then just changed the name. They basically kicked him out of his own community for the way that he was conducting himself.
Supporter of Brad. This was also going to change. A month later, on August 19th, Peruko states that Brad had put her $411 in debt on PayPal.
$411. Well, that's Canadian.
She explains
American, I
that
think
she
that
was
comes
hired
out to
a month ago to edit his videos, and that Brad
$306.17.
decided to help her out by buying the editing software Final Cut Pro. She buys Final Cut Pro, and everything seems fine, until inexplicably the money is refunded by Brad. Peruko then confronts Brad on Discord, but he only sends some of the money, and Peruko is still in the negative on
What's
PayPal.
he doing?
Peruko keeps pestering Brad, but he does not take immediate action to correct the situation. Contact is eventually made. Brad then demands that Peruko confirm that it was him that refunded the money. Peruko does this and confirms what Brad should have already known, as PayPal states that it was Brad who charged back that money.
How in the living fuck do you make $300,000 a year on tips and you can't give your fucking editor $500? What?
Shortly after making this all public, Brad finally sends
How
the amount
greedy
owed.
is this
Brad's
guy?
explanation for this blunder is, quote, I have trouble with vision and poor reading comprehension, and my partner broke her glasses and currently is struggling to see, unquote. Brad also responded in video form.
Hi guys, this is Bradley here. I needed to make this message. I am going through a lot emotionally right now, but I need you to understand.
This is like when I get too high on the stream and right after I upload some kind of video of me talking about Genie was sung or Savvy Guy.
That I am being accused of a lot right now, and I'm going through a lot, and this is very serious, and this person who is supposed to be my friend has publicly accused me of theft on a platform, and I believe they are trying to hurt me, and I am not okay. And I've been spending literally any moment I could all day trying to figure out this financial thing with them. Literally, like, from the moment that I knew it was serious, I was getting calls, my fiance was getting calls, and we were answering them and like picking up, and like I was like, okay, something is serious, like something is wrong. Okay, this charge, deal with this. Okay, 151, got it. Oh, I gotta deal with other stuff. I'm busy. Peruko, I need you to be patient with me, please. I'm busy all day. I come back and it's like, I literally am like struggling, and Peruko's like, fuck you, like, look at the PayPal statements, you fucking lie. I'm confused.
How can they
And then
kick
I see
Genie
this
was
shit on
sung
Twitter,
out of
and
the
I look at
band?
picture, oh, it says refunded under the bottom one, so I didn't even get to that one yet. And instead, now 500,000 people have seen something that is a complete fucking lie. I'm sorry.
From a friend.
From a friend. From a fucking.
Shortly after this, Peruko deactivated her Twitter account, stating that she doesn't.
She's just noping off the internet. She's like, I don't want to exist in the same internet as Brad Taste.
Want this kind of stress. Brad also deactivated one of his social media accounts, specifically his Album of the Year account, where he rates music. For some reason, this account was tagged as deceased. On August 20th, the same day that this was being reported on, so was this video Brad made asking directly for money and making it a point to cut off communication, likely due to his falling out with Peruko.
Let me just put it like this. I need to stop making friends online. So, what's going to happen now is there's going to be a lot less chat interaction. But
thank you for the $300,000 plus a year, guys. But I think moving forward for me, I don't want to interact with you people anymore, okay? No more chat interaction. Fuck you guys, but keep watching.
I love music. I just really hate that I am like super mentally ill, and anyone has access to the ability to talk to me. So here's what we're gonna do.
I'm gonna ask help from you guys. Financial help. Like, actual financial help right now. I need enough money to support my family. And basically, I need enough money to last about a month, right? So in total, maybe about 10 grand. With my family and moving and closing off leases. Yeah. Like, that's like the minimum, right? Chat is, I plan on not interacting with any chat because, honest to God, like, fuck that.
Listen, I need you to give me $10,000, but I don't want to hear about it. Don't talk about it. Just send me your money.
I want to listen to music. I'm so fucking sick of
Exactly,
anyone being able
Joe.
to talk to me. Like actually, just imagine that. Just imagine anyone in the world being able to say anything to you at any point, and you have to just sit there and accept that. Like, fuck that.
Brad does not go into depth as to where the money would go, only that his family needs it and that it would go to some general upgrades. But he does state that he would be ceasing chat interaction. Through this, viewers would be getting the worst of both worlds. Brad's decline was evident.
How do you
I feel like I can see
unironically...
his, like, mental state withering in real time every
Like,
time I
it's
see
crazy.
him talk. And it's getting worse and worse, too.
Turkey
It's
Tom.
like he can't deal with criticism he's getting.
The comments in this Reddit post were expressing their frustration with Brad's demands. One reads, quote, "I won't interact with chat. I need 10 grand. The entitlement is real. Brad has over 300,000 subscribers. Why is he e-begging? If he needs the money so bad,
Stop
then
getting
work
into
harder.
altercations
Stop getting into
online that result in a
altercations
public
online that result in a
meltdown."
public meltdown. And stop acting like you deserve the money for reacting to songs. He will be lucky if he isn't a lolcow within a few years. Honestly." Unquote. More perplexing is that Brad's reasonings don't line up with his finances. ARTV had previously exposed that Brad claims he was making $100,000 a month and that he was spending $10,000 a night at a casino. $10,000 was the amount he would so easily throw away, but it was now how much he was asking to survive a month off of.
Oh my
This
God.
was especially insulting when considering that his average viewer was likely not even earning half of that monthly, while Brad was making it seem like it was life or death. Expectedly, Brad deleted this video, excusing it by stating, quote, "Posted something stupid instead of staying offline. Gonna use the 30-minute rule I made up and blame my autism and being betrayed
Yeah, that's what
by my best
Darkside Phil
friend
always
last
says.
night."
Oh, listen, guys,
Unquote.
I don't expect
Brad failed to
one
address
person
why
to
he
donate
needed the money
$300
and why he made it
right
seem
now.
like it was an emergency.
Each of you can
To
work.
add to
You
the
can all work
madness, Tina
together
would later
to get
reveal
me the
she did not even know
$300.
why Brad was asking for this money.
I really don't even know what the fuck that was for. It might have been for like the office that, because we needed to we were setting up. Well, not we. I was setting up a studio space for him.
Brad, the following day, uploaded a video where the intro is attempting to play off his most recent blunder. While this hinted at the possibility of Brad ignoring the ongoing dramas as he did with
Insert
this video,
$5.
while live streaming, it became clear he was not going to.
I've been really standing up for some people and who turned out to literally be the worst people ever. I'm literally being abused. No, that's the worst word I could use. Forget that. No, forget I said that.
Does anyone know if Brad's taking legal action? I heard something about it. Here's the thing, all right? What they did sucked. They're probably never going to admit that it sucked, but I genuinely have nothing I want to go after them for.
That's true,
the thing
South
that's the
to
most
West.
shocking about this. Why would I go after them? The whole thing was the fact that I paid them back the money. It just took me a while to figure out how much and exactly to get it right so that I know what I'm sending, so I know what to put down in my books, you know? But I'm working and busy.
Yeah, being autistic, I'll say likely autistic, and having a large platform is not a great combo.
Brad then moves on to talking about the reason the money for Paruko was initially refunded.
Okay, I'm sorry. I need to complain real quick. You need to understand something. I saw that a transaction was reversed, and I knew that something happened where I reported a fraudulent transaction recently because I saw no information on it, and I immediately knew, okay, Paruko, my friend, needs money.
Brad himself refunded the money because he did not remember why he paid it, as there were no notes attached to the payment. Though Brad's decisions were the cause of all this, his frustrations with Paruko is what he was focusing on. Specifically, her airing out the refund, stating it is the worst thing anyone has ever done to him.
Because I just said I was publicly accused of fraud to 1 million people online. I am actively being accused of fraud by strangers to the point of where I had to deactivate all of my shit. So that
Oh, shit, he had to
I wouldn't go
disactivate?
insane because of something so horrible that this person did. So horrible that I had to change my life. Okay? And you're going to fucking tell me that this person deserves some sort of respect? some patience or some grace. That is the worst thing anyone's ever done to me.
It's just
and
the
you're gonna
iced
tell me
vanilla,
I owe him something after being that wrong,
loaf cake.
after trying to make things right. Tina says, I've never seen you cry like that. I've never cried like that. Just, oh my God. I didn't even see. They sent me an apology, by the way. I didn't even get to see this. Sorry. Seeing that massive negative in my account horrified me because I didn't have the money to resolve it, which is why I literally said I will give you the money instantaneously. Instantly, by the way. I didn't hesitate for a second. I didn't hesitate for a second to give him the money. That's what I wish I could show you guys right now. How about you fucking do something instead of like just hiding? How about you actually like show your face and admit that what you did was...
Yeah, like I'm really fascinated with like who's giving Darkseid Phil money. Always kind of fascinates me. What's the backstory here? This guy makes about $300,000 a month for reacting to songs. He doesn't like the job. He doesn't like chat. He wants money, but he doesn't want to interact with chat. He's also going into quote-unquote weed psychosis frequently.
Disgusting. Goodbye. I'm done.
Goodbye.
Brad, in late August, would even be
It's like
caught
that's like
smoking
the
on stream.
Thorpe farewell.
It was around this time
Only he didn't
that
drop
he
the
uploaded a
N-word.
video that was both about roasting a turkey and about Reddit ruining his life.
What's up, you guys? So this is an important video. I wanted to tell you guys basically that I was roasting a turkey yesterday, right? And so when you roast a turkey, it's got to be like in the oven for like 2 hours or something, right? Well, I didn't understand this, so I put a stick through it, all right? And it didn't fit in the oven, so I had to take the stick out, and then I had to take out the stuffing. But when I eventually put it in the oven, it was all good.
True XP.
To anybody who is basically slowing me down from
I'm
making
going to cover
mental
that in
health
episode
progress,
2 of Criminal Drip with
slowing down me
Bethadone.
donating to charity, making it right with people, getting offline and interacting with friends. If you're one of the people who is stopping me from doing this and also telling me
thank you,
that
BB.
it's for my own good, fuck you.
I would thank you for the money, but I'm not really interacting with chat right now.
Fuck you. If you're a subscriber,
The eyes, yeah.
unsubscribe,
Thank
leave
you
a
though,
comment,
BB.
and
That's
I'll
very
happily
generous.
hire
I
you for the
appreciate it.
channel. Genuinely, you guys are some of the worst fucking people I've ever met, and I'm glad that I'm gonna
Yeah,
stop
I don't
making
understand the
friends on
Phil
internet.
fans at all.
Because genuinely, I don't want anything to do with like 99% of you guys. Shout out to the the small amount of the audience that actually does like care. What's up, guys? I would like to make an official apology to my community, as I have been posting very strange videos and very confusing reviews and messages, and just not being very clear over the last month, and I know a lot of people have been scared of me.
This apology extended to Peruko, as she states she was apologized to in private. Then on August 31st, Brad ends his
We
stream
will
in a
find
highly
out about
concerning
Fresh
way.
and Fit.
I, under no circumstance, can listen to this album right now because I am not safe in my own home, and I really can't describe much else.
No one publicly knew what Brad meant by this. Until now. This is Tina's side of the events.
He did show me a text from his ex that said that he was narcissistic and abusive. And that was not my experience with him at the time. And so I just was like, oh, like, that's kind of crazy of her to say that to you. I don't believe that. But now, of course, looking back...
Do you think it's
in
weird that Luke's ex-girlfriend reached out to me telling me that he's a narcissist?
Back to my whole relationship, like, yeah, she was right. because
Grace deserves every cent.
He is a narcissistic abuser.
Tina claims she was woken up to Brad's treatment during a trip to visit Hivemind, who reside in Detroit, in early August 2024.
I tried to not be scared of him and to put my hand gently on his shoulder and like give it a little rub and be like, it's okay, like, I
You
love
think he's
you.
Damius Octavius?
I'm not trying to hurt you. And yeah, he grabbed my hand and like wrist immediately off of his shoulder and threw it away from him like as hard as he could. And it was like a grip, like I don't know how to explain, but all I know is that afterwards my hand and my wrist were aching for like a good hour or so.
So you grabbed your fingers and whatever, and this was
my wrist, my hand, yeah.
And this was at an Airbnb, you said, not at your actual house?
Hey, Ananje, do you think that, or anybody that watches Phil, do you think that he genuinely believes that at one point Mario Kart was a skill-based racing game that really the power-ups didn't really matter if you were a great driver. Like, it's crazy to me that he thinks these kids racing games were, and I'm not saying that in like a negative way, they're awesome games, but like anytime it's like Mario Kart or Sonic Kart, he has this weird remembrance of the past where it was always skill-based. I was always random in my memory.
Yeah, it was in Michigan. We were visiting our friends in Detroit actually, and this was the first time that we had been there visiting them while he was on weed, and they actually witnessed him.
Well, we heard that
He was so used to treating me
Naptown
like shit that
and
he didn't even
Shabatoni were
realize
actually
that like other people
purchased
would
by
be picking up
have
on
been
it.
brought
So
under the Thorpe
he
Corp
was yelling
umbrella.
at me in front of our friends, and we left in that moment.
I
We got
can't
in the
remember who
car.
said that though.
He's still screaming at me.
I think it was in Ruby's chat.
I'm trying to pull up the address to the Airbnb, and he's like, "You can't even look at me. You're on your phone." I think I have a recording of actually this.
Pro male.
So we get to the Airbnb.
You celebrate masculinity, just like
and
Ember.
we walk in together, and something, I don't know, he like mishears me.
This started another confrontation where Brad allegedly screamed so loud that the Airbnb's host reached out.
And I was just saying to him, like, Brad, like the Airbnb host is downstairs. Like this is a duplex. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like, they're
and
gonna
that's
call
what
the
this,
cops. Like I'm
message is about, right? It's like they're like saying
Yeah.
they're concerned.
Yeah, and I was like, they're gonna call the cops. Like, you have to stop screaming. Like, I just was trying to not have the cops show up at the Airbnb. He went down to his car, took all of my
Sounds pretty
suitcase
gay.
and my backpack and everything. He threw it all on the front lawn of the Airbnb, and he drove off.
With Brad momentarily gone, Tina stayed with a friend.
Like, he genuinely seems frustrated by the fact that it's like a power-up driven racing game. Like, yeah, if all things are equal and you get a decent amount of luck, then skill factors in. But, like, you're always going to have those moments where you have a massive lead, and at the end you're going to get hit with 3 power-ups and come in, like, you know, almost last. He acts like it's just, like that's a fault of the game or something. I don't think I've ever seen him, at least recently, where he's having fun with a game or he thinks it's a well-made game. It's all, the only thing that kind of colors his vision of the game is whether he hits his goals or not.
After this situation with the Airbnb, which I kind of explained in the text messages to him.
Oh my god, it bit his kid's face
I had to go
off?
stay at a friend's house that night.
Yeah, those streams were
and
crazy.
That friend was the first person in my
Have you watched any of
life
the Sonic
to
ones?
tell me that I was experiencing abuse. I took that very seriously.
He gave this description of the, I can't remember what character it was, but it basically turned the driver into like a bully mode where it would like knock the other cars further away. But he went into this like he did it again like the Mr. Rogers thing where he's like, now if I equip this item, then I'll get the bully effect, which we all like. We've all said we like it. But I'll lose a little bit of acceleration, which I don't think we really want that, do we, guys? Do we want less acceleration? Is that what we want, guys? Let me know. It's just like, is this like
and
real
that
life?
was- yeah, that was
Is
August
Phil
12th.
AI now?
And, you know, I was still with Brad at that time. We went back home after this trip, but, you know, he ended up getting arrested two weeks later.
Tina and Brad's trip ends around mid-August, but Brad makes one last stop.
And on the way home, coming out of Michigan, he stopped at a dispensary and he went in and spent $600 on weed. And if you know anything about Michigan weed prices,
Oh
it's
my
very
God,
cheap in
$600
Michigan. He
in
bought
Michigan?
So much. And then when he got back in the car, I have audio of this as well. He was mad at me for letting him spend $600 on weed, like as if I was responsible for stopping him from doing that.
That's not
This
nerd
brings us up
bashing.
to the events of Paruko,
All right, see ya,
the
XP.
PayPal chargeback, and Brad being caught smoking on stream. It is now August 29th, 2024. Yet another verbal confrontation takes place at Brad and Tina's apartment. Tina records audio of this confrontation and sends it to her mother as well as Brad's mother alongside a few others.
This is a
I
great
immediately
documentary,
sent it
too.
to his mom and my mom first. His mom was like very nonchalant.
It's as
about
if
it, and
Manar
was like,
Reports
"Oh,
had
he
his shit
can't be
together."
talking to you like that, like blah blah blah. My mom immediately came and picked me up and brought me to her house. I just talked to friends on the phone that night and was just like, yeah, it's really, really, really bad. I think I shared it with maybe one or two of like my closest friends, and
The
once
slow
again,
pan in.
nobody at Hive Mind.
It is now August 30th. Tina texts Brad asking if she can come back and get a backpack of stuff. Brad responds by stating
You
that she
do
can
whatever
she
you
needs
need
to
to do. I'm just here on the couch. You get what you need. I just want you to know I want no issues tonight. I'm doing my thing. No conflict.
reassures her that no matter what happens, he's not going to talk
It's
badly
not
about
funny,
her
but,
online,
like, his
as
voice
he has
just
no
cracks me
interest
up.
in continuing any drama whatsoever.
What's up, Luna?
August 31st, I woke up in the morning on the couch, and Brad was already streaming.
I
And
take your
he
viewers.
told me,
I own your viewer.
you know, I'm just going to be streaming. I'm going to leave you alone. You do what you need to do. And I was like, okay, cool. I was sitting on the couch on the phone with my mom, and she was just saying, you know, when's Brad's mom coming to town? I said, I
Brad's
don't
mom
know. No
is
one's
coming
telling me
to
anything. You know, I
town.
messaged her. I'm trying to figure out when she's coming here. It's obviously like I need someone to step in. It's bad. And I guess he was listening through the office door, and he busted out of his office door. and
Listening
immediately started
through the
screaming
office door?
at me. I put my mom on speakerphone, and he was screaming at my mom too. And my mom was like, Bradley, you can't talk to Tina like that. And he just, it was getting explosive again, just like how it was a couple days ago. And he was approaching me. I was kind of getting backed up against the sliding door out to the balcony, screaming at me. My mom heard all of it. And
Oh my
that truly
God.
was my breaking point, where I was like, I literally can't even be in my home. Like, I'm literally not like safe in my own home.
That
And so I
seal is
ran
an
out onto the
odd
balcony,
choice.
and I
What's
closed the
that
door behind
about?
me, and I called 911. I was just like, I'm fucking done.
This is where the timelines finally
just
meet.
on the
As
couch
such,
doing
this
my thing.
recontextualizes this clip.
Escape the pain.
I, under no circumstance, can listen to this album right now because I am not safe in my own home. And I really can't describe much else.
Okay.
They went in and talked to him, and then that's where that
So that's where that audio, what happened when he said he didn't feel safe in his own home is because he was about to be arrested.
clip from a stream. He's about to listen to like the Magdalena Bay album, and there's a clip of him where he's like, I under no circumstances.
The neighbors heard
Yeah,
it.
he's like, I under no
Holy shit.
circumstances can continue to stream. I'm not safe in my own home. At that moment, it's because the cops
Look at
were
this guy's face light
outside.
up.
They were in our apartment. The cops were there for him.
All Brad's
So
viewers
that's
are
why he ended
mine.
the stream. That's why he said he didn't feel safe in his own home. Literally in that moment, the cops were there. And when they came out, one of the cops was like,
I think he's faking some of it, but I think that for me, when it gets real is when like arrests are made. Then you really have to look at like, especially if the person that goes to court and gets convicted of something. You know what I mean? Like I think that people would totally play it up, but I think once you get the actual authorities involved, it kind of you separate the wheat from the chaff on who's going to take their like Andy Kaufman bullshit to the next level.
like, they're both claiming to be the victim.
Some of
And I
it
was
is
like,
definitely just him wanting attention, though.
not shocked. Like, of course, he literally said he would do that. And so I kind of had no choice but to.
Well, south to west, that very bitter single mom that rants in her car about her narcissistic ex would say that the reason that Brad is flipping out is because he's doing this attention-seeking behavior on purpose because he's a narcissist. And he's getting feedback, right? He's getting donations. He gets support from his viewers. Sometimes his girlfriend will back him up. But like when that supply is cut off, then Brad goes into like his narcissistic rage. That's what the bitter woman going through a divorce that sits in her car would say.
Pull up the audio from 2 days prior and say, okay, well, this is what happened 2 days ago. And this is just an example of like kind of the explosive like verbal abuse that I'm dealing with. And I played it for them, and they were like, oh, we're arresting him. And I was like, oh, I don't want him to get arrested. And they're like, it's, not your choice. We've actually decided that we're doing it.
Glad you enjoy your
like, it's
free
happening,
fucking
whether you want to or not.
Airbnb and free everything else.
They asked
Selfish
me, like, did you worry that
bitch.
he was gonna hit you? I was like, I honestly, like,
Yes,
I don't
currently
know.
loading.
And one of the cops said,
We
if you
have to
weren't worried
watch
about
her
being
on
physically
screen
hurt,
sometime.
why would you run and close and lock the door behind you? And I was like, that's a great point. I truly didn't know. I didn't know if he was going to hurt me.
With the public only
Enjoy
in the know
your
that Brad's
free
stream
fucking
ended abruptly,
Airbnb.
Tina was messaged asking about Brad. Here she states that he is okay and that they are both getting the support that they need. The 31st, the day that Brad was arrested, was also the day Tina broke up with Brad. On September 6th, Brad would upload a video stating that he was entering rehab.
What's up, guys? Bradley here, letting you know that I am going to rehab. Yep.
For weed.
About 2 months. It's intensive outpatient
2
care.
months for weed.
A lot of stuff has happened in the last month I've not handled well. I've not been handling my anger well. I've not been handling controversy well, and I've kind of honestly just ended up in a really bad spot and embarrassed a lot of people because of it. So what I'm going to be doing is going somewhere to essentially learn more about myself and get help so that I can basically
Please
make
don't
a
cancel
healthy
your
return.
membership. While
Brad
I'm in
ends this video
rehab.
by telling his audience to expect zero content for the next 2 months. He also announced this on Twitter. The internet was relieved. Up to this point, comments demanding that Brad get offline were frequently found on his videos. And not only was he getting offline, he was supposedly being rehabilitated. On the 11th, he clarified what the rehab was for. Quote, going for anger management, addiction, and trauma. Unquote. On the 14th, he again shared he was going to rehab in an intro to a mix he had made.
Hello, my name is Bradley Taste, and I would like to share with you this most amazing DJ mix I made. Hello, it's got a lot of swans, it's got a lot of waka flocka just for you to enjoy. Hello, I'm going to rehab soon. If you could tell, I really need it from this DJ mix. Enjoy.
Why does this guy get $300,000 a year and someone who is objectively more entertaining in every way like Jimmy is suffering in poverty in his car?
I hope I see you soon.
Tina, on the 15th, tweeted that she was going to break her lease and move to Detroit, and was very much serious about this.
$60K, damn.
Though the internet was still in the dark about what was going on with Brad, what happened between him and Tina, and the events leading up to it, Rose Millay uploaded and subsequently deleted a video explaining the majority of it.
Brad Taste in Music got arrested over a confrontation he had with Tina. The reason he told me this is because he said to me while
Rose
laughing
Millay,
that
content
no one
queen.
would believe me. The problem is that he didn't
Oh
account
my
for the
gosh,
fact
thank
that
you,
this is all
Distinction.
public
I
record,
appreciate that,
and
man.
I was easily able to find evidence of this occurring. After Brad got arrested, Tina secretly recorded the confrontation
We've hit the
that
pizza
they
goal.
had and leaked that recording to HiveMind.
Side note, Tina states that she did not leak that audio to HiveMind.
They're not on good terms. I had a call with Brad, and he was saying some very negative stuff about
Why
Tina.
would he have a phone conversation with one of his like legit A-loggers?
Brad made that video saying that he needed 10K. He made that video because Tina wanted money. The money stopped coming in. Brad basically told me that Tina wanted money because he was gonna take time off of work. She basically ratted him out and betrayed him because her source of financial income was gone. And then Brad says, I'm not gonna post about her or any breakup. Let her waste HiveMind's money instead of mine.
Tina, as has been shown in this video, has stated she did not know why Brad made that video. Furthermore, Rose appears to be parroting what Brad told her. This would explain why this video was deleted and why re-uploads flew
Totino's
under
shorts
the
will
radar.
now be unlocked.
Still, there is one audio clip that is played that does give insight to who Brad was spending time with.
Honestly, that's not even the craziest part of this all. That came when Brad sent me an audio message of him basically telling me that he met up with his old friend who's a sex offender.
What's up, Rose? I don't think you needed to do anything different. Rose, you are someone who is self-aware about their own actions and the consequences of which those actions brought. As far as I'm concerned, you're not crazy. You're not horrible. Yeah. If it means anything, one of the people I came home to and met, the dude is now a registered sex offender who
Okay, are you hearing? Just like, what, dude? What?
faced life in prison. People I came horrible. Yeah. If it means anything, one of the people I came home to and met, the dude is now a registered sex offender who faced life in prison. And my other friend got in a drunk driving accident and was under house arrest and just got his ankle monitor off. So if you think you have it rough, the people I know in real life are far more dangerous than you can ever be.
As
And
Tina
he sent
Brad
that to
had
an
broken their lease
A-logger.
and Tina had moved to Detroit, Brad moved not to a different apartment, but back to his parents.
Like most personal questions, just the answer is somebody's helping me out. I'm getting help or whatever. So, am I back in my childhood bedroom? I am. And there's some new art in here.
Are you back in your
There is.
childhood
It was
bedroom?
on
That's a
this stream
distinction
that Brad
comment.
played yet another mix he had made.
Do you think that's who the friend that's a sex offender is? Gilbert?
It's alright. Oh my god.
The echo. Oh my god.
Play that back again. Can we like a snare drum? The smiles returning to the faces.
This sucks, LOL. Hey! I poured my heart and my soul into this song.
High quality chatter, absolutely.
Brad ends this stream by providing an update on his goals and where Tina is.
I'm probably going to find temporary work after rehab and work on DJing over the next 2 months and hopefully get a job as a DJ. Is Tina doing okay? Tina is doing good. She is literally
Can you
with
imagine
the-
this guy
probably the
DJing your
best
wedding
people
and
she
all of a
could
sudden he
be
gets
with
on the
right now.
microphone
Brad's
and talks about
goals
how
were
his
seemingly challenged
weed
as he stated
psychosis
he was
is
kicked out
making
of
him
rehab
ruin?
on day one. Though
And
he
play his
quickly
DJ
admitted
mix.
both in text form and video form that he was trolling about getting kicked out.
I said I got kicked out of rehab. This is my video saying I did not. I instead went to rehab. That's right. I went to rehab and I didn't get kicked out. It's true. Or is it?
On Twitter,
What?
Brad is being more direct and reconfirms he is not being kicked out and that he should not have joked about it. More on this, Brad, on September 20th, explains that his continued postings and where he should have been offline were attempts to retain his online presence, and this realization
Jeff
has made him
Janik.
panic.
Hi guys, so I was crying, so I apologize for looking like a total mess. But I just wanted to say that recently I've been just like clawing, trying to survive and keep my platform instead of getting help. And I think a big reason is because I'm just scared that I've lost my community and everything I've built. And you know what?
Guys, I really need your validation.
A lot of it is selfish. A lot of it is like, I deserve this. But also a lot of it's like, I care about the community and I need help. I need to get offline and I just want some reassurance from some people who care about me that like, you'll be there when I'm gone. Or when I come back, I mean. Because I want to do this the right way, but I'm scared and I just wanted to ask for a little help and reassurance, and that's all. So thank you.
Oh my God,
if
dude,
you
really?
do leave some, I appreciate you. Bye.
The reaction to this video was the general reaction that Brad had been getting. Get help, log off. The top comments on this Reddit post discussing Brad's most recent video place importance on why Brad should be in inpatient care rather than outpatient. And then on the 25th, Brad responded to this notion as well as to a few
I feel like
others that displeased
outpatient would
him.
not be
When
very
the
effective.
internet
Oh my God.
In large tells me Bradley get offline. What my brain perceives this as is an attack. And the way I feel about that is really sad and scared and uncertain because I fear that I'm going to lose my job. When the internet talks about my relationship, the way I perceive this is I should have never shown this woman to the world. And the way I feel about that is horrified and sad and scared. But also at the same
scared.
time lucky that people are taking her
Frightened.
side right now.
Alone.
Thank God that people are not
Worried.
attacking this woman.
Stressed.
Brad in the same video states he is now reflecting on the comments to go offline as if they were sponsors in support of him.
The way I perceive this now is that I have 360,000 sponsors telling me to get the hell offline. All right? And I appreciate you because you're right. That is part of the problem.
Brad closes the video by claiming he is clean of all substances, including prescribed ones such as Adderall. Following this, in October, he announced that he had graduated rehab. However, on
Justin
the 24th,
Carey?
he did state he was planning on continuing his rehabilitation
That's his name,
through
right?
an
Justin
inpatient
Carey?
program, meaning he would spend his nights at a rehabilitation facility and would be stripped of the freedoms outpatient programs have.
Like, I am actually able to make changes. I went to rehab,
And that was the best thing that I could have done for myself, and it's been so good that I'm going to be continuing on with an IOP program that's going to be another 2 months.
Brad, for the months of July to August, had lost nearly everything. Tina had left him, he had lost his friends, his apartment, and his sanity. Brad would mostly adhere to silence, choosing to stream infrequently. It was Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2025.
Yeah, he's really funny. I like
Brad
his stuff.
uploaded a video reflecting on it all.
I like when he gets
here.
He'll get like a bunch of people really mad at him and do something really nasty, and then when they get mad, he'll be like, "Listen, I'm sorry, dude. I'm autistic. I didn't know. In
front of you guys, maybe about a year later from that, saying that I lost pretty much everything that I care about. All those things are gone. And I'd love for it to be as easy as to just blame weed for all of it, but it's not. Weed is just like a small part of a much bigger puzzle of everything, but it certainly didn't help.
Brad, further into the video, states he's still in rehab for something known as SI or S ideation.
Everything that I worked for and everything that I cared for just like either flipped on its head and wasn't what I thought it was, or just like wasn't what I wanted, or wasn't what I thought it would be. And I just wanted to die.
In March, a new review on Brad's Album of the Year account would get the attention of Reddit. Not because of the song he was reviewing, but because of the information about his personal life he was relaying. Quote, I really have a complicated relationship right now with a lot of people I have worked with recently due to making an ass out of myself and losing a lot of connections. I don't really know where I stand with a lot of great people. Unquote. Brad appeared to be remorseful of his actions. But if anything is true in Brad's story, it is that history repeats itself. And just as it was in 2024, something in 2025 happened that sent Brad spiraling. Publicly, this began when he uploaded a video titled SI on July 24th, 2025.
So I want to try to explain to you guys what's going on through my head, because it's
this
pretty
is the one we
interesting.
watched.
I had to just go to my computer and hit record because I know I have to make this video.
There are already a few things to point out. Besides Brad's unkempt appearance, the stream overlay is still present. From the best of Debussy on the right-hand side to the image of Pitbull on the top center. Both would sit on screen for the duration of this unscripted and entirely unprepared video.
I've just been like contemplating the perfect video, that'll fix it all. I'll just say the right words and everything will go back to normal.
And like a drug manager.
I have learned since then that is not reality, and I don't want it to be reality. So basically, I'm here making this video really for the reason that I want to get certain information across to people who care.
This video reflects Brad's mental state. He bounces from talking about Tina, his downfall, and his improved relationship with his father. The major takeaway from viewers appeared to be what Brad was saying about Tina.
She's involved. She's a part of the whole equation. And I start trying to, say things to fix it. And when I try to help, it basically results in her screaming and crying that things are getting worse and that it's all my fault.
Brad sits in silence for the next 10 seconds before continuing.
Yes.
I'm paying her a ridiculous amount of money, like $5,000 a month.
$5K?
To basically do nothing. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't have a problem with that.
This Google Doc contains a list of Tina's responsibilities for this $5,000 a month. They include laundry, dishes, the majority of shopping, every aspect of cleaning, taking care of the dogs, managing their finances, planning for his work and work trips, buying Brad's clothes, managing Brad's business from dealing with contractors,
kind of looks
designers,
like
setting up
definitely bad
equipment,
vibes.
coordinating with collaborators, and supporting him via providing food and water during his live streams, etc.
And
I need my water
just expected me
refilled.
to do it all on my own. It was really like all that he was capable of doing, and I feel mean saying this, but also fuck that guy. All he was capable of doing was sitting in front of a computer and making a video or streaming. Anything else that was involved taking care of himself, taking care of his house, taking care of his business, it did not happen unless I did it. And so it was like $5,000 a month to literally do everything. And at that point, that's already the weight that I felt, even while I was working full time. So I'm like, well, fuck, I might as well just do this. I can barely get up for work in the morning. I wake up and I feel like I got hit by a bus every day. I would make like an
Professional
invoice
water
every
filler.
2 weeks, and then I would have to literally write that, like, he couldn't even, I'd have to literally write the check because he didn't even, like, he wanted to sign it. He wanted to pay me. He made that clear. But then he, like, I still had to, like, literally do everything except for wipe his ass for him. Like, I'm not kidding. He pushed me into, like, a mother role that I didn't ask for.
I was fucking pissed. I was just like mad because I'm trying to fucking figure everything out in like an impossible situation. You know, trying to get things back to normal so that like
Brad wanted
we
a
can live a
mommy.
normal fucking life. And she repays me by recording me in my house without my knowledge. She sends it to my parents. She sends it to friends. She sends it to people who are associated with Hive Mind. Yeah, and it's the biggest betrayal I've ever felt. You know, like at that point I was done with her. Like at that point I was like, this is fucked up.
Brad from here goes over his own recollection of what happened August 31st, claiming that he only screamed at Tina because she was being loud while he was deep into his stream.
There's like a clip of me that's like me talking about how I don't feel safe in my home, and then like an hour later I'm in jail. You know?
When we watched this originally, though, in addition to what everything that happened after hadn't happened, but we didn't know still the source of that, what the deal was with that video where he said that, like, you know, he didn't feel safe because that video hadn't come out yet, or her side hadn't come out yet.
Crazy.
Coco Beware
say any
fans.
of this.
Continuing with the timeline, Brad discusses losing Tina and his ability to collaborate with Hivemind, as not only were Hivemind aware of what Brad had done, Tina was dating a roommate of one of the channel's talents. Because of this, Brad pulls out a bottle of Smirnoff, claiming he had this and pills as a last resort, but did not go there. In the middle of his ranting, he loses his train of thought in a bizarre way.
See what I mean?
Let's talk about where things start getting good.
Literally the two things that we talked about earlier, he's demonstrating to his chat that he understands that you shouldn't mix those two things together.
Look at this picture right here, okay? Now, I'm going to explain this picture later, but this is a bee being, you know, that's dead. It's being carried by an ant. All right? I saw this with my own two eyes in nature. A bee being carried by an ant down a line. All right? Like that was, you know, that's some life-changing stuff. It's weird. It's like, it's really symbolic to me.
Brad uses this photo as a symbol of overcoming difficulty. This transitions to talking about reconnecting with his father and traveling to Egypt and Switzerland. These bits do not lead anywhere, but this last story does.
You know, 2 months ago, it was pretty much like, I'm enjoying everything else that has to do with music right now that isn't like my job. I'm starting to like care about it again. And that's because of one thing. My friend Kendall, I would visit him. We would go and watch a movie, and then we would sit at the park, sometimes in my car. We would smoke weed, and we would listen to music.
It was here that Brad leaked that he had relapsed back into smoking. This would explain this video and his continued instability. This same day, Brad was dropped from his record label, which appears to only sign those
wow, cut him from the record label.
Make meme music. They cite Brad's behavior as the reason for their decision.
Yikes.
The following day, Tina tweeted that it might be time for her to deplatform her abuser. Perrico on Twitter was also coming out with information regarding Brad and his arrest. Though in some spaces the arrest was an open secret, this and Brad's video appear to be the majority of the internet's first time hearing about it. Then, on the 26th, Tina started a tweet chain exposing that she has many notes, audio recordings, and screenshots dating back to 2019, but is not sure how much she wants to share. She states she does not
once
want
that video
him to
we
hurt
watched
himself,
came
and she
out, it
also
was
does
like
not
the
want him to
floodgates
get
were
into
just
legal
opened.
trouble. This is also a reason why she has been silent, because she has been hoping he would get better. Overall, she talks about figuring out how to move forward with all this. This possibly scared Brad into uploading a video simply titled 2 on July 27th, which is a direct follow-up to his prior video.
And so the entire thing, you know, comes off as an extreme violation of privacy. And I can completely understand why people are upset, because it is honestly, I think, one of the worst things possibly ever uploaded to the internet. I am fucking ashamed of it. I feel like I failed completely, like, as a person. I am going to disappear for a year. And see around this time next year if I'm ready to try again.
I'm sure it'll go better the next
I'm
time.
clearly not ready for this, and I am rightfully being called out for honestly just terrible behavior, extremely irresponsible behavior.
Brad's gamble, his guarantee to stay offline, worked. As on the 29th, Tina tweeted, quote, "I've decided that I'm not going to speak publicly on the Brad situation beyond these tweets. I just want to close this chapter and move on with my life. The only thing I want to clarify
His
based
hair
on
dry.
things I've seen being discussed is that he never hit me or physically abused me."
I never hit her.
Unquote.
I did not.
After this, Tina privately messaged Brad with a screenshot of that tweet, where she adds, "Signing off, I believe in you." With Tina now backing down for posting evidence of Brad screaming at her, Brad went back on his word and created a freestyle inspired by Tina.
Bitch, why you acting so soft? It's like you don't remember what you said in our law. Yeah, I almost got married. Good to know I didn't get carried away. Cause of the shit that she would say, just to ruin my fucking day. My God, telling.
Eat your heart out, savvy guy. Old boy Brad is in a weed psychosis Adderall binge, and he's making actual music and freestyling the lyrics.
You, it's like blackmail on my iPod on repeat, man. She was letting people think that I beat her just so that she can stay out of it. Oh man, I really hope she feels proud of it. Fucking ridiculous, the shit I
Fucking
put up
ridiculous.
with. Bad bitch, look, getting my nuts kissed. Look, a true story. I was yelling at the bitch. Yeah, what she do for me? Well, ruin my life. Ruining my shit, thinking I'd be her. Wait, no, that she be my wife. I was so mad when she stitched to the couch. Man, it took too many years of my life. Thought she would be my wife. Man, this just isn't quite right.
That was about a minute of audio of Brad's 48-minute long freestyle rap. Brad continued.
48-minute freestyle rap? Oh man, Ruby seething.
To test his audience and Tina. It was on August 5th that he uploaded a video titled My Statement.
I'm going to be bringing up, yes, I am talking about this, I'm going to be bringing up my ex-partner. But I want to make it very clear that everything I am about to say, I have zero intention of saying like, or like trying to victimize myself through what she has done.
Though Brad states he is not going to victimize himself, only a few seconds later he now states that he is a victim of Tina as much as Tina is a victim of him.
And I truly do believe that, like, we are both victims in this situation, like, equally. No, I did not abuse my partner. I have never even had a thought of harming her, like, once in my life. I've never put a finger near her.
Brad goes on to claim that Tina had a strange reaction to his excessive screaming.
And the way that she would handle it is she would feel hurt and scared.
No shit,
and
buddy.
This just kept happening over and over again, where I didn't mean to scare her. You know, she got scared. She starts acting very nervous, and then I'm like questioning why she is.
As for how Brad is a victim of Tina, he claims she has been holding that audio of him screaming as blackmail.
I am accusing my partner of blackmail, and I'm accusing my partner of gaslighting.
Brad claims
it makes it sound like he's like a detective in a film noir
telling
South
him
to
that
West.
he was not living in reality. He is explaining this
I met this
while he
dame and she
continues
took
to
me for a
struggle to
ride.
form a coherent thought.
You know,
Took
she
everything
just
I had,
basically
pal.
told me I'm not living in reality. I'm offended, you know? Anyways, blackmail. So, blackmail is
This is
maybe
pretty
the
big
most
victimhood
painful
status.
thing I've ever gone through in my life.
Self-victimization.
Being recorded, like, without my knowledge, like, having a partner constantly remind me that, you know what, let's take a break, and, okay. Let me finish my sentence. Partner...
You're
what
charged
was I
with
talking about?
one count of
Anyways,
blackmail
let's
and
take a
one
break
count
and talk
of
about her
gaslighting.
concerns.
Brad, as the video is closing, states his form of reality is not contested with the people he hangs around with.
This is not a problem around people who are like me. it just happens to be the circle I have. You know, all the people
sex
who are
offender,
around me
the
who are
drunk
just, like,
driver.
tuned differently. You know what I mean?
Brad, not so recently, has exposed that he is friends with a sex offender and another person who received a DUI. This is possibly the circle Brad is tying his reality to.
Oh my god.
Whatever. Hopefully this clears
Yeah,
it
Humphrey
up,
Bogart is the
but
king.
Knowing the internet probably won't, and I don't really care. Sorry for not keeping up with the 2-year rule.
Brad does not even accurately recall that he said 1 year as his time away from the internet. A channel mod of Brad's shortly took this video down. Everyone has their breaking point, and this video was Tina's.
Full disclosure, I did reach out to Tina because I didn't think that she was aware of the video.
Who's this guy? Is he an A-logger in their sector?
This is from an August 5th stream of the channel The Op Block.
The
In
Op
it,
Block.
Tina is seen typing in chat. Most importantly, Tina had sent over the
GPT
audio of Brad
fever.
screaming at her. 2 hours into the stream, Tina gives them permission to premiere the audio.
Tina is allowing me to premiere the
What a
audio
get.
recordings that she has on Brad.
This audio comes from 2 clips, one of the event and one of the lengthy argumentation building up to it. Because of its contents and length, the
You think
entirety
Tina
will not be
ruined
played,
Brad?
but will be
Come
linked
on.
in the description. Additionally, this is the timestamp
She
for
was
those
sounds
that
like she
wish
was pretty
skip
good
it.
to him.
This is the audio that took place August 29th, 2024, and was the audio that led to Brad's arrest 2 days later.
And you already know my feelings on good women.
While I'm brushing my dogs, I'm just thinking, and you are asking me what I'm thinking about and not letting me not tell you. You are not letting me have privacy in my own.
So full of shit.
Like, that's literally what just happened. Like, I'm sitting here brushing my
Alright,
dogs.
Tina, I'm gonna fill up a bowl. You do whatever it is you usually do.
So, if I.
Without being a sarcastic bitch, look at me in the fucking eyes and tell me the truth.
So, I have.
In the eyes, Tina.
Accidentally lied to you before. Well, I have, like, mistakenly given you.
Tina.
Sorry. I've mistakenly given you incorrect information, and I don't. Mistakenly giving incorrect information is not lying, and I am certain.
So that's not an example then. Try again. An example where you lied to me.
I don't know that I took the dogs out, and I hadn't yet.
When?
I don't know. Sometime at some point, I was like, yeah,
When?
I'm doing it right now, and then I didn't do it for another half an hour or something.
So you lied to me and you didn't even remember it. You don't even
A
remember
white
any
lie
details
about the
about
dogs that I took care of.
it.
the
So
dogs.
it meant nothing to you. Just a little white lie
I
about
don't know.
the dogs.
I'm saying I'm
You're
sure
just
that
what,
it's happened.
so used to throwing white lies at me, you don't even recognize this
No,
one?
that's not true. I just don't.
There's so many white lies, Tina. Listen, Tina, I'm your partner of 5 years, and if you don't respect me as an individual, then you can, honest to God, get the fuck out of my house.
Both of our names are on the lease, so that's not going to happen. And also,
Damn.
you are not
I'm gonna call the police.
Yeah.
I will get you out of here.
Both
I will make a story up. I will get you out of here.
Oh,
Tina.
we'll make a story up.
will not be doing that. And
I will say my partner has been emotionally abusive, and I've asked her to leave many times.
Oh my god, dude. Get serious.
And despite the fact that I have no support system, she has refused to leave and has continued to emotionally abuse me. I need her to get out for at least a day. I need space, and she refuses. Can you please escort my partner somewhere else so that I can have some mental peace?
I'll give you peace if I'm allowed to be quiet. Am I allowed to be quiet? Or do I have to share what's going on in my brain?
Wow. So, now that you actually know that you need to be quiet, it's also my fault.
Can I be quiet?
Can you stop blaming me for shit?
Can I be quiet without you prying about what's going on? What I'm thinking.
Can you stop being a horrific partner? Can you look at me in the eyes? Can you treat me like a person? Can you treat me like someone who's at your level and not someone who you can manipulate?
I just want to be able to think quietly while I brush my dogs. I just want to be able to quietly reflect on my life while I brush my dogs without you asking what I'm thinking about and prying it out of me and thinking you're entitled to know what I'm thinking about. You're not.
I'm not even your partner, Tina.
You're not treating me like a partner.
You're looking around looking for excuses, Tina. I literally am watching your body
I
language.
can't look in your
You look
eyes.
like one of those freaks on the fucking interrogation videos.
I can't look in your
Every single thing you're doing is full of shit. You're literally acting like the fucking criminals there, Tina. Like every action. You are a lying, manipulative person. And you need to get out of my house.
I have trouble with eye contact. I do.
I am going to call the cops if you don't stop lying to me, Tina.
Man, this is
They're
rough.
They're not gonna. We're both on the lease. That doesn't work.
Yeah, Cody, I do
Yeah,
too.
it does. I'm going to say my partner is emotionally abusing me, and I've asked for space endlessly, and I have no support system. I moved out here
Grace,
for her, and I'm trapped. And
I
I
gotta
need
have some Ben
space.
time.
She has her mother's house. I need help.
My mom is not. You can't push me out of my
Go stay with
You are
Ruby
one of
for
my
a couple
abusers,
days.
So I can damn fucking right do that to you.
Oh,
I can
wow.
kick you the fuck out of here for what the fuck you've done to me. You've destroyed me.
What? How? All I've ever wanted to do is support.
Stop lying to me for once. Look at me in the eyes and stop lying to me. Stop being such a wimp.
All I've ever
Look at me and accept what you have done to me. Do you see what I've become? You've killed me.
Wow.
You promised me everything. You lied to me. Look at me in the fucking eyes and say that again. Look at me. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me what the fuck you just said.
Jeez.
Tell me. Get out of my house. Get out of my fucking house.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
You're blind.
Don't.
You are evil. Like you're evil.
I don't.
What a crazy audio
This
clip.
audio was posted on Brad's community page by a rogue mod.
Oh
Tina
my
states
gosh.
That audio
So one of his moderators posted the link to the audio through his own Twitter account, so it went out to all of his followers.
was a regular part of her daily life for 5 years and is just the tip of the iceberg. Though onlookers and those familiar with Brad's situation were quick to denounce him after listening to that audio, not everyone was in agreement that Tina was the victim.
The guy screaming at her, like,
Look who's coming to defend Brad Taste. Exactly, Ananje, and one that was making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like,
isn't that a really scary situation to be in if you're a woman? It can be, yeah. This woman is clearly not afraid, though. There are no abused women, or there are no, I shouldn't say abused women, because those situations are way different. But there's somebody who's genuinely fearful of their partner, who's like, I'm going to stay here because my name is on the lease, and I have just as much of a right to be here as you do. That's somebody who wants you. When you're saying, I need you to get the fuck out of my apartment, I'm losing my mind. When the woman says, last I checked, my name was on that fucking lease too. What she's saying is, what she's actually saying to you, she's saying, hit me, pussy. I bet you won't. I dare you. I double dog dare you. You little punk bitch, little dick motherfucker. I'm gonna go fuck your best friend. I'm gonna fuck your dad and your best friend right now. Hit me, motherfucker. I dare you to. That is exactly what they're saying. They're daring you to do it. Don't take the bait.
That was from a clip posted on Twitter.
Don't take
it is
the
a
bait.
clip of a longer segment of infamous streamer Destiny reacting to the audio Tina recorded. In response to this, Tina replied, "Fork found in kitchen," as Destiny has been known to have the destructive tendencies that Brad has.
So I want to show you this clip. I'm not sure if you've seen it before, but I just want to get your thoughts on it. I just want to get your thoughts on what this is Destiny speaking. I want to get your thoughts on it. First time.
And instead of hitting her,
This is Destiny.
I almost 100% sure everyone would be saying the same shit. He had to leave or he is going, yeah, of course! Dude, fuck, I wish I would have filmed my shit with Rachel. I wouldn't have any fucking fans today because you guys would probably think I'm a fucking abuser too. Garen fucking teen, because you better fucking believe I had to fucking choke her out a few fucking times. That shit got crazy. Hell yeah, it did. And I guarantee
Hell
you
yeah,
that everybody
it
here
did.
probably think I'm a fucking crazy physical abuser too, sure.
So any thoughts on this situation?
Oh my
Any thoughts on this, Tina?
This interview and Destiny's comments on the audio both took place August 8th. 2 days later, Brad uploaded, at the time of this recording, his last video known to date, simply titled Sorry.
This is over now. I have nothing else to say. I want to actually thank Tina for sharing the video.
Brad continues by explaining that he is afraid of Tina because she is smarter than him.
Somebody
and
will
that
pay
she
for
had a
the
strong
paperwork,
foundation,
though. That'd be a
implying
nice
she had a
little
good upbringing.
bit of
I'm just
Thorpabilia.
saying, I'm really glad she put out the video because
I want the NCO though.
the idea
That's my
of
holy grail.
I'm being blackmailed, like, is finally out of my head.
And I think that she knew that because she, again, is really smart. She gets like lots of help mentally. Like she is very clear-headed. She is in a horrible situation right now. She can't catch a break. And I hate that I'm contributing to that.
Ben's canceled the check, though, to Fusion Studios. They're funneling it over to Mr. Deadman now. He's getting the plantation with the studio.
And she has every right to feel as hurt as she does.
I have to wait till
And the internet
Bethadone
has
Clinic
every
makes
right
it big.
to be as pissed off at me as they are. I will do better. Goodbye.
The same day that Brad uploaded this video, a GoFundMe for Tina was created by a friend of Tina's, claiming that the funding would be used to cover the cost of
12
moving,
grand, wow.
to getting back to work, and to build a small financial cushion. Since July of 2024, it was clear that something was deeply wrong with Brad. As such, he has been mostly bleeding subscribers and support since then. He has not only shown himself to be a
That was one of
manipulative
the best
figure,
videos.
one willing to lie to police, he has outright stated he was. This was in contrast to the happy-go-lucky music
Grace,
reviewer
what's the
that
total
was earning
operating
hundreds of
capital of
thousands of
Thousand
dollars
Trails
a year.
LLC?
Brad Taste effectively used his success, his money, to fuel his addictions, which allegedly included gambling. He also allegedly burned money on strip clubs and where he would cheat on his partner, a partner who he paid to keep his business running. Through all this, Brad was using his channel, his success, to live in utter irresponsibility to the extent it led to his self-destruction and inevitable implosion. This is yet another case of a creator who was not built to be famous, and not built to handle a relationship or even himself.
Not built to have any relationships. All right, let's move right into the second document. This is going to be close. Hopefully we can finish it, though. This is Nick Johnson, who does, like, Americana tours. So he went to the place in Arkansas that's only white and only straight intentional community.
Right, we're in Ravenden, Arkansas. You've never heard of this place. I'd never heard of this place. We're way out in the middle of nowhere. We're at the southern end of the Ozark Mountains. There's really nothing out here except for small towns. Folks just living the small town Arkansas life. Behind me down that dirt road, there's a group of people that are building a whites-only community. We're gonna go down there and try and talk to them right now. So most of the people in town have heard about this. They don't really know much about it except for, I guess, what a few other news reports have kind of said about it. So there's a curiosity here in town about what these people are up to. Oh, this is it. We're here. We're at the end of the dirt road. We're at the end of it. We're out here in the middle of nowhere. There's actually some other houses up here. I'm gonna go up and find out what's going on. It's very strange up here. Hey! What's going on? That's Eric Orwell right there in the truck. He's the founder of an organization and a community called Return to the Land. He and others bought 160 acres in rural Arkansas where they've built a settlement for only white people. No blacks, no gays, no Jews. 40 people live here right now, and the group says hundreds of others around the world have paid to join this community. They all plan on building a house right here and living among only white people with traditional values.
Traditional values.
Call this a homestead. They aren't very far along yet. They say it's like living off the land, but without the
No gooners.
inconveniences of being next to people that aren't like you. Of course, this is controversial. That's why we came. One group called this the most established white supremacist community in the USA. So we spent today here to learn more about who they are and why they're doing this. All right, so Eric, talk to me. What is this place? What is your vision? Why did you do this?
Sure, yeah. So this is our first community with Return to the Land. We've been at it for about 2 years, and we wanted to have the ability to choose who our neighbors are so that we can have a safe community where we feel comfortable raising our kids, and that also has continuity with our cultural heritage as white Americans. Many people are kind of offended by that, but we believe that all people should have a right to freely associate and self-govern. You know, there are black communities out there. There are obviously Jewish communities. Most other ethnicities, they have countries for themselves.
Ben and Gray should move there.
Like Liberia, that's a country for black Africans in Liberia. Nigeria, the same kind of thing. Like in China, it's a country for Chinese people. And that used to be how this country was. You know, it was founded by white Europeans for white Europeans. Now, we're guilty of all sorts of historical injustice, but all peoples are, really. And I think an unfair emphasis on the negative aspects of white American history has led people to basically reject our people. But I don't have any other people that I belong to. That's who I am. You know, I'm not Norwegian or German or English or anything else. I'm a white American. That's what my ancestors
Could Grace
were.
live here though? She does
And
have
that's how the rest of us kind of felt.
at least
And
potential
since we do feel like we're
interest in
under attack,
women.
we thought having a community that's for us would be a good way of kind of looking after our interests.
You have to buy a
So
plot
how
of
does it work
land though.
Here,
Dono gold.
There's people that will say, legally you're not allowed to discriminate, but you guys have designed this in a way that you can skirt, I guess, fair housing laws or whatever. Like, how
Skirt
does
the
the
law.
process work with this community up here?
Right. Well, we're an intentional community on private land. We're not engaged in real estate transactions.
Hi.
And you have the right to do what you want on your own private land. You know, if we were selling lots to the public, then yeah, this would be illegal. But we tried carefully to not violate the Fair Housing Act or Civil Rights Act or any of that. There is a distinction between the private domain and the public domain. In the public domain, the government has the responsibility of enforcing equal rights, equality under the law for its citizens in public commerce and things like that. But in your own private life, on your own private land, if you want to associate with your own ethnic group, your own race, you are free to do that. Many people think it's immoral, but it's also the way the vast majority of people forever have always operated. And so we think that that wasn't wrong, and in general, that it's not wrong to stand up for your own identity and people. So this was undeveloped
What's kind of
land
funny about
when
this
we,
too is that Nick
bought
Johnson
it.
is
We
normally
pooled
like kind of a
funds.
goofy,
We founded a
light-hearted
company that actually owns the land
kind of host. I was kind of
and
surprised to see
people
that he
can
went
buy
here. Well, I
shares
think
in
he
that
probably
company
agrees with
if
him.
they're part of our association. Return to the land. It's a private membership association.
I was just surprised because
and,
it's pretty serious for like his
associations
brand
are
of
allowed
content.
to be restrictive in whatever way they want because it's in that private domain, not the public domain. So our members who have actually bought into the company here, they're shareholders in the company, and so by extension then they have rights to use the company's property, namely this land. So one share is tied to a particular piece of this land, and they'll have the right to homestead that 3 acres. We have 3-acre lots here.
Well, I'm Peter. I grew up in the Northeast and spent some years in South America, and then I decided I wanted to come to the Ozarks and do some homesteading.
Co-founder.
And buy some land with other people, and that's what I ended up doing. So now I've been here for about 2 years and slowly building up the homestead with the garden and the animals, and other people here on the property are doing the same thing.
You've had a lot of attention from this. I'm here. You've had a lot of reporters out here.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Well, the reporters come and they only want to talk about a couple
How
things.
you doing,
They
gobbledygook?
want to talk about racism and the Holocaust. And to me, those are subjects that are very far from what we're doing here. So it's kind of absurd to, some reporter from the UK flies all the way to the US. They're spending thousands of dollars getting their crew over here. They come here to the property. They don't ask us about homesteading and traditional values and those kinds of things. They ask me about the Holocaust and if I think it was good or if it was bad. And it's really absurd. And those are the kinds of questions we get from the press. They repeatedly ask us over and over again, are you racist? And I mean, we have the wider organization, Return to the Land, has a lot of requirements for membership. There's a long, detailed
Return
list
to
of
the
type of people
land.
that we're looking
Pass
for.
that info on to the Thorpes.
And so the media likes to focus on one or two things and kind of blow it up. So we're getting a lot of press requests and a lot of interviews and a lot of people asking about a couple little things, which is really just a tiny fraction of what we're doing.
White, straight, those seem to be the two criteria.
The racism and
Why
Holocaust
did you
stuff is a
focus
very
on that
small
the
part of
most?
what we're doing out here.
Well, it's an organization for people who want to promote and preserve European ancestry and heritage and traditional values. And one of the most well-known and important traditional family values is that marriage is between one man and one woman. So those are just the values that we formed our organization. People who want that, can join our organization. And as to why we personally hold those values, there's a whole bunch of different reasons. Everybody can have a lot of different answers. Everybody sort of has their journey of where they are, why they are where they are in life with their political and religious views and what they used to be when they were younger. Like when I was much younger, I was a liberal, and then I was a libertarian, and then I realized, well, everything's going wrong in the world. Let's look to history and see what went right. And so that brought me back to a lot of traditional social and religious values and more conservative political views. So that's what brought me there personally. But everyone in RTTL has their own story of why they hold those views specifically. If black people, if African Americans want to form a community in Georgia, if Orthodox Jews want to form a community in New York, if we want to form a community here, I think we deserve equal treatment by not just the law, but by the media as well.
My name's Allison. I'm actually from the area. I'm not
Ultra
not far from
trad.
here. I ended up moving here because I actually met Eric in person, and we ended up dating, and so I ended up moving here as a result. The project itself, isn't something that seems so outlandish to me because I'm from an area where most people are majority white anyway, so it didn't seem like anything like too controversial to me in particular.
We're close to where Boogie
What is it
2988
about
lives, I think.
this setup, the way it's designed, that spoke to you that you were like, I want to live there?
Well, it's kind of like a lot of, Southern folks' dream to kind of move out into a rural area away from like the cities and the towns and have
Is
your
that
own
Jimmy's
kind
old
of
lady?
land to work with. I came from a small town, but I still lived in town, so there's not a lot of land associated with, a place like that.
This
And
is a really
everyone just
good
kinda wants to
piece
move
from
out into the
Nick. This
woods
is
and
really
homestead
good
a little bit.
reporting.
Friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, how did anybody have opinions that were not the opinions that you had, that agreed with your decision to move out here based on the controversy involved in Return of the Land?
Well, the majority of rural Arkansans are pretty conservative and would probably have a lot of views that are pretty aligned
Black
with
Hawk
it. Of course,
helicopter
a
just
lot of
flew
people
over.
weren't sure what this group was, so they were a little leery of it to begin
Probably
with. 'Cause they
wondered
didn't
why I'm
know
not
why they
watching
were here,
sightings
but,
today.
the actual beliefs of the group is not anything controversial around here.
How do you respond to the criticism? There's been a lot of media attention here. How do you feel about that?
Well, obviously, I don't feel great about it. I think it's mainly kind of a misunderstanding of what's going on here. A lot of people, when they see any white person talking about race, the automatic assumption is that it's racist. White people aren't really allowed to care about their own race because of some, historical issues that kind of lay this, blanket of guilt over our entire ethnic group that prevents us from being able to be proud of any positive thing that we have done in lieu of those other negative things.
How long have you lived here?
I guess about 6 months. I
Okay.
was living in Missouri, about 40 minutes away, and sold my house earlier this year. So
Okay, and this is
Wow, beautiful.
another house being delivered. Do you see this often here?
every once in a while. So yeah, you can see here on Eric's lot. He had that first. It's kind of like the media house, where the guys are standing.
Yeah.
That was delivered here, already assembled, and then way back, that was like a build your own building sort of kit.
Why is this a great place for you to live and raise your kids?
BYOB.
Yeah, well, I love the land here because it's beautiful. I like being rural, away from cities. I just feel a lot more safe. And One
See
of the things
how
I really
open they
appreciate
are
about this
because of
community
how,
in
like,
particular is that we have the
chill
ability to vet our
Nick
neighbors.
Johnson is being.
So, like for example, I'm from upstate New York. It was a pretty small
You feel
town,
like this
but
eventually
you can
going to
see
be
how the
another
bigger
Waco
cities
or
are just
Ruby
slowly
Ridge? Oh, I hope
creeping
not.
in. And I feel like here, you know, if you're somewhere else, it might be a good neighborhood, but then in 10 years you have
It's
no
gonna-
idea
what- which
who's
was it,
going
Far
to be
Cry
around
5?
you. So here
Was
we
in a place
have
like
the
this, kinda?
framework to keep ourselves, you know, and keep my kids protected from just any random person coming in. So
I've asked everybody, and everybody has the same opinion. Are there any down negatives to raising a family in a very homogenous environment that's very white, straight, the same? Are there drawbacks to that at all?
I don't think so. The thing is, if someone really wanted to encounter that, even someone that lived here, they could just drive somewhere else.
That
you
blonde
know?
guy is
Like,
kind of the leader right
people
now, but it's
could encounter that basically.
yeah, he's kind of the leader. I think. I don't know if there's like a. I don't know if there are other
all
like
over the country,
other
so
locations though,
I like that there's a place
or someone like above
for,
him.
you know, our type of people.
But he run Barter Town.
And I also like how when my kids get older, if they're needing advice from someone, I want them to be able
Let's
to
get
come
a.
to
Do you think they
adults
would?
that, like have the same viewpoint as me. I'm going to be saying something completely different than how I want to raise them.
We'll get Ben and Grace set up in
So the
there,
criticism, how
and
do
then
you
after that we'll
respond
move
to
VP
the
in.
negative press.
I kind of see us as just
This
people
could
that
be
wanna
like the
live
Boyd
and
town.
for the most part be left alone.
Well, I mean,
or,
sorry,
like,
Tony,
help
yo man, and Savvy
other
guy.
families who want to be around like-minded people. So,
Savvy will
Like I
understand.
said, they, you know, they have the rest of the country.
Feds will
and
try
I
to
think,
bulldoze it.
Like,
You think even
yeah,
now
people
under
that
Trump?
don't want to be like us should form their own communities and live how they want to live as well. That's always been my dream, is just to live out in the woods on my own anyway. So it's like, okay, this works out perfectly. But yeah, I obviously agree with all of the ideological, you know, I don't know what the word would be. I guess all the ideology that goes along with it.
What part of the ideology do you agree with the most?
Let's see. Yeah, that's a good question. I would say like preserving European culture. Another thing is I went to conservatory for French horn, so I've always been like very into European music, art.
I
and,
play the French
you know, like
horn.
some philosophy too. So I just think it would be a shame if all of that was lost. And I think the more people are mixing and mixing and mixing, it's more likely that cultures are going to be dissolved rather than preserved.
And that's probably the controversial part, that other people hear you say that.
She's like, no.
But, yeah, everyone, there are pros and cons to every group of people, every person you meet. So, yeah. The only bad thing is that the media, if you Google, you know, Black intentional community, all of the news articles are like, oh, that's great, this is awesome. And then you Google white intentional community and it's all condemnation, which, you know, is a little puzzling. But I think, yeah, I think any group that wants to do what we're doing should try to. And it's nice that the guys have found out, like, the legal framework for that. And they're not, you know, like,
Well, I mean,
keeping it secret from everyone. So,
do you think this has staying power?
Right, because we're not violating the law, because this is a way that we
I have a feeling that I don't know. We'll just have to
can be
see how it
explicit
plays
about
out.
our values. We don't have to hide. And I think it's a conversation that needs to happen. Should we be allowed to freely associate? Do the rights of groups matter? Or, you know, do we always have to welcome in anyone into our communities, regardless of how we feel about it? It's being pushed all over the Western world. You know, in Ireland, small rural villages, all of a sudden they'll have a bus full of migrants from the Middle East dropped in the middle of their community. They're not necessarily in favor of it, but they have no say. So do we deserve a say in how our communities develop, or is it totally out of our hands?
Okay, now we're in downtown Ravenden. We're about 2
Oh my
miles
gosh, check that
down the
out.
dirt road from the community up there. in downtown Raven.
Dollar General, a giant crow.
We're gonna kind of maybe drive around here a little bit and take the town in and see if I can get some opinions from some folks in town about what they think of what's happening in the hills behind town. Have an opinion on that group. Then I was.
Which group is it?
The group that's the all-white community that's being built up the road.
I'm not prejudiced, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not against anybody really, as long as I judge the person, not the color.
Not by the color.
You know, there's white people that's not good. There's black people that's not good. There's some of them both are good. You know. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm in the military and I've lived with blacks and Mexicans, and you know, and so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, like there's a lot of good of each one. But there's.
What do you think about
wow.
all-white outfit up in town? Have you heard about this place?
Very little. I mean, this is not our.
Is this
it's not
Doctor? I
here,
thought that
it's
was
not in
Dr.
our
Giggles.
town, not even
Oh,
in
he's
our
the
county.
fire chief. Wow.
Know very little about it. So, you know.
Good get.
they've
What's
not
up,
bothered
Randy?
me any, so I really don't have a lot of opinion about that. Period. Don't seem to cause any disruption or anything. So, and. You know,
it is
whatever.
It is kind of
I mean, I've
weird
never
that you
talked to
can't.
any of them to speak
A lot
up,
of
so whatever their
avenues
views
and
in,
platforms don't want to
necessarily
have
mean
any
it's the
kind of
views
conversation
this
at all.
town,
That's not like
or even the county they live in.
super
you know what I'm saying?
simplified
And all
about
due
it.
respect to everybody involved. So,
What are your thoughts on the community?
Oh, the mayor!
That, like
wow.
That all-white outfit that's up the road.
You know, I've met several of them. They've attended some of our council meetings. That's not in the city, but they've always been very polite and cordial. They've come to a couple of our events, our fall festival event, our fire department fundraiser. They've helped. You know, my opinion on that is it's their land. As long as they're not breaking the law, and they can live by whoever they want to. You know, I mean, if I don't want to live by somebody, I move. But if they're not violating the law, there's really nothing we can do, and would want to do. I mean, if they want to live like they do, that's their prerogative. They may not like the way I live. So I don't have an issue with it, and they have not been an issue for us, law enforcement. I talked to the sheriff in the county
Power
that they're in,
Rangers.
and he told me they haven't had any issues with them. So,
Romano.
there's been a bunch of stink made about them being here, and
Bunch of stank.
I don't know how they believe or what they believe. I don't believe everything I read, and if in fact that's the way they are believing, I don't have to agree with them.
What a novel concept.
So how do you decide? You have a screening process.
This guy's the leader
Very
right here.
lengthy, I think I read. What's the screening process like, and how do you determine who gets to buy into the company and who does not? I know white, straight is one of the main criteria. but,
Sure.
like, is that pretty much it?
Welcome back, XP.
Well, traditional European values.
Are you
as
back
well.
because of this sweaty
so
guy?
Step one is joining
Like
the
Farzan?
PMA. You can do that on our website, returntotheland.org. You fill out a questionnaire and then take an interview. And the interviewer will either recommend you or not. And then the board votes whether you should be admitted into the association. And then once you're a member, you can come down and visit. And before you can actually buy into the company here or any other RTTL affiliate company that might exist in the future, you have to meet with us and, you know, for a couple days, stay down here, get to know us. Also pass a background check. So we have an outside company
sorry,
do a
Ben.
criminal background history on people. So, you know,
What's up, Vinny?
strong values. You have to value and identify with your European heritage. This is like a preservationist project. We believe we're a real people. We believe we deserve to exist, and it's not wrong
I
to
think
care
that
about
shoots
that.
down my
So that's
idea of
really the
turning
number one
this
goal. But it's not
area
just
into
our
a,
race, it's
boy
also the
community.
culture and values that our people have
If they
always
gotta
had.
pass a background
and we
check.
believe there's largely continuity between, you know, say the Greek philosophical values, the Christian values, even the Norse pagan values. Europeans have always kind of valued a similar sort of thing. Virtue ethics, freedom, freedom of conscience, freedom of thought, and things like that, monogamy.
But I mean, but like you're
Oh,
pretty
Grace
much, if
won't
you're
like
not
that
white,
one.
you cannot do this. You cannot buy in.
Well, I mean, people are free to form associations for other identity groups.
Yeah, Vinny's
and
here.
Really, they do exist. You know, there was a black intentional community in Georgia, in Freedom, Georgia, and we think that's great. You know, we would encourage people to do things like that. I would like to eventually have an association, like a confederacy of many different identity groups who want to do the same thing. You know, America is a really complex social experiment with a lot of different groups, and sometimes there are conflicts between groups. And I think doing this and saying, we have our
Heaven's
own
Gate
space,
too.
you have yours, actually will allow us to get along better. You know, we're not seeing it that way yet, but I think that is a conversation that could be had. And that's always been my politics. Let people
I'm trying to think of
organize how
who
they
would
want.
pass the
You know,
background
we don't all have
check.
to be
Not
socialists
Methadone,
or
not Ruby,
libertarians
not
or
the
whatever. There's
Thorpes.
enough
Well, maybe
space here
Grace
and enough
would.
opportunities for all of us to live according to our own values.
What is it about? So you mentioned Freedom Georgia. There wasn't a lot of.
Not VP.
I did not remember hearing backlash from that.
No.
But with this, there is.
Right.
Why?
Well, I think because white Americans are not recognized as legitimate identity. Black Americans are. You know, the AP style guide says that you should capitalize the B in Black Americans because that's a legitimate ethno-cultural identity group. But you don't capitalize the W in white Americans.
Can you imagine the live streams out of this place?
It is something that has been brought into our education system for basically a century. Critical theory, the Frankfurt School, critical race theory. Now it's all over. Many professors are openly against the white race as a concept. They talk about deconstructing whiteness. And that's all I have. You know, I don't belong to any other group. So they're saying, like, I don't have a people. And there are many people in that boat. I think we are legitimate people. And I think there's an attack on us specifically because there's a lot to be gained. We were the most powerful country in the world, the most prosperous country in the world. And white Americans were the ones who founded that and who enjoy the benefits of that. And other groups
enjoy the
also want
benefits
those
of that.
benefits. And so it behooves them to deconstruct our identity.
I would have all of these
One
guys
of the
doing
common
live
criticisms
streams.
seem to be that they speculate and assume that it is a organization of white supremacist, extremist, domestic terrorists, and therefore the government should crack down on it and eliminate us. There have been lots of detailed discussions on Reddit about sending drones over our property and dropping incendiary devices, and that's how liberals think. And I think it's kind of disgusting. But I've read hundreds and hundreds of comments like that on the internet, and it's just like the juxtaposition between what those people are saying and what we're actually doing here. It's, you know, an entire universe apart. So I fully begin to realize just how mentally ill those people are. And that's on the more extreme side of things. And more moderately, people will just say, oh, well, that's racist what you're doing. Generally, people who are reading the media
Moderate people will just dismiss it as casual racism.
articles about us and believing everything in it and then just kind of going to town with that. Just they don't agree with us politically. They think that what we're doing is wrong for X and Y reason because the news article told them so. And so we get a lot of that. The people that support it are generally saying things like, that's a really great idea what you guys
This
are
is an
doing.
amazing
We've actually got a
documentary,
lot
I
of
think.
comments from people that are like, oh, I've wanted to do something like what you're doing for 10 years, but I just never got it off the ground. A lot of people have wanted to do group land buys in intentional communities and just couldn't figure out how to do it for whatever reason, so we've got a lot of that. Also people that just support our views politically and agree with us on what's going wrong with society and why there's so many problems in the world today. And they see our solutions as sort of positive and beneficial ones. And there's also a segment of supporters who are actually politically and socially completely against us, but they support us because they agree with us isolating ourselves in the middle of nowhere and not trying to like have protests in the middle of a city and bothering them. So we actually have supporters who support us, and then we have opponents who support us.
There are
in
many
that
people who
they're
are
happy
glad
that
we're just
doing
out of
this,
society.
out here amongst ourselves. They do support the right of everybody to freely associate and form associations and do what they want with their own private property, even if it's people that have
Sovereign
opposing political
citizen
views.
spells.
So how's the school? How
Free
do
to
you guys do the
associate.
schools here? Kids are homeschooled. What's the
Yes,
benefit of
kids
that?
are homeschooled. It's more like a co-op at the moment. We just don't have the numbers here yet to like make our own sort of school here, and I'm sure there would be legal, like.
Do you have to follow school rules? Can you homeschool out here off
You
the
can,
grid?
yeah, actually,
Like,
the homeschool laws are really good in Arkansas. All you need to do is let them know once a year that you're going to be homeschooling, and then I as far as I read, legally they can't even look into your records of what you're teaching. Obviously, it's recommended to keep records in case, I don't know, I guess in case CPS gets called or something, you can show them like, oh yeah, of course I'm teaching my children, but there's no like mandated state testing or anything like that. And yeah, again, you know, with your neighbors being vetted, you know that all the children around are going to have the same values and not
Clan
be picking
rebranding
up, I
arc.
don't know, there's a lot of like, you see a lot of trans stuff they're trying to teach in elementary school and stuff. And a lot of people think, oh, that's not going to come to my small town. But you just never know. I'd rather know what they're learning for sure instead of that big question mark and sending them off, personally.
What happens if somebody in here decides that they're trans? Would you guys throw them out? Do you
I don't
embrace
know. I would trust the board, whatever they decided to
Okay.
do, I would support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't change your race, but
Surround
you can
them.
change your sexual identification, which is part of the reason you guys are here, is because everybody's straight.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't want to speak. Yeah, I would ask one
Yeah,
of the
I'll
board
have to
members.
ask Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But what happens if somebody in the community decides to change their sexual identity? How do you guys handle that? You thought about that?
Well, I mean, we have thought about it. If someone no longer shares the values that our association is built off of, then they would be disqualified for membership. So if someone owned a share here, they would still own that share and they could still sell it, but we would revoke residency rights.
Is that like in the paperwork?
Yeah.
Like if
they
It's
sign
in
on
the
to it,
contract.
you know?
If you turn gay, you
Scott
gotta.
Thomas.
Oh
Been
boy.
out here since really day one, I guess. Came out here on day one. Didn't imagine buying land with these guys. I guess I was kind of a prepper, so I had all my pallets of ammunition and food storage and all this stuff, but I didn't have community, so it was all meaningless. And then when I met with these guys, I was like, oh, I get it now. You know, I have to have this sense of community. So I told the guys, yeah, I'll go in on the land buy with you.
He thought about it from every
3
angle.
weeks later, we bought this place.
What is it about living out and with everybody else that you feel like you guys want to live here? It's like only white folks, that kind of thing. Like, why do you feel
Ooh.
that you want to live in a community
Trojan
like that?
horsing in a neo
Well, it's
vajayjay,
more than
that's
just,
risky in this case.
Being white, so like just the politics, even in small towns. For example, like the local schools are still getting hit hard with propaganda. And I was in Missouri at the time. This is middle of nowhere in Missouri, and school teachers were just teaching the
where he
kids
stays
stuff
at,
I didn't
the
want them to
dumpster.
learn. I didn't want them to be exposed to that, so had to get them out. And then this kind of happened at the same time when I was like trying to pull my kids out of the school system, learning how to do homeschool. And then when this opportunity presented itself, I'm like, oh great, now I can work with people that are also homeschooling. I can learn from them. And
This guy's really relaxed.
Mostly about the kids. Also, yeah, the demographics is the thing too. So that demographics can change real fast, and so a small town can quickly.
You think he's drunk or just kind of really chill guy?
Comes in and changes the demographics for you.
Have you had situations that you were uncomfortable with gay folks or minorities that you wanted to distance yourself from them and have a white, straight only community? Is that, or?
Well, I've had gay friends, I've had, black friends, Jewish friends, and I don't have any problem with them in themselves. I'm comfortable interacting with people like that, but I think that I belong to a real group, and many people deny that that's a valid group. We're not recognized as an official ethnicity by many organizations.
He's
But I
on the
think
sauce.
white
He's
Americans had an
really laid
ethnogenesis here.
back.
People from Europe came here, blended
Learning
together.
to
They
homeschool.
developed their own culture on the frontier out here. And that's
The
what I
frontier.
want to perpetuate, because I do think it's under attack.
This very controversial, clearly. What kind of feedback have you received from the community or other people or anything else?
Well, she said the state doesn't even
so
ever
far?
follow up. You just
It's
notify
mixed.
them.
I mean,
and that's
some
it.
people locally are not happy that we're here, but the majority of the people I've actually interacted with face to face are supportive. The people who are supportive are not the ones who are going to go online and talk about it on Facebook for obvious reasons. I think the overarching narrative has been white guilt and critical race theory and all of this stuff for so long that people who feel our way have been afraid to speak their minds. But when I meet people face to face, if anyone recognizes me, they always want to shake my hand and they say it's good that I'm doing this.
Did you pick those Arkansas?
He'd
for
be
a
really
reason? 'Cause
good
it's-
as like
it's
the
pretty
villain in like a Van Damme
whitewashed
movie.
here
Don't you think so?
versus, like,
He's got those
another
like
state or
cold,
area
steely
that had
eyes.
as much-
And
probably
he kind of
wouldn't
looks
have
like
been
he'd be like
accepting of
a
this. Is that one
Yeah,
of the-
that's
Russian
definitely part of
mercenary.
it. Also, land costs are lower here than other places.
Yeah.
It's easier to develop. There aren't as many permitting requirements, zoning regulations, and so forth.
Did you vote in the 2024 election?
Look at the chicken in the background.
I don't remember.
Presidential?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, two choices basically the same. Everyone thinks they're different. It's all a psyop, so.
You think Ben would take over?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, it all comes down to the foreign interests that the country is primarily serving. Pretty much everybody in Congress, except for Thomas Massey, has an IPAC lobbyist. And much of United States foreign policy is geared, including the wars that it starts, is geared towards serving the interests of Israel. And so
Uh-oh, Ben
voting,
would not be happy
for
now.
Whoever was running on one party versus whoever was running on the other party, on that specific issue, they both have the exact same opinion and will never ever budge. And there's also a lot of conservatives favor Trump, and he's very popular, and they're certainly very good at generating headlines on all the mass deportations they're doing of immigrants. And if you look at the numbers, it still pales in comparison. Like Barack Obama still was much better at deporting immigrants than Donald Trump was. So it's like, why am I supposed to rally after this guy who says he's doing all these things? When you look at the numbers, it's really kind of pathetic. So then you have to wonder, is it a dog and pony
Pathetic
show?
amount of
And I think
deportations.
it's a massive dog and pony show. There's two options put before us, and they're really good at marketing both the options. So one of the options is going to look really good to the extreme left. The other option is going to look really good to this extreme right, and the moderates just kind of have to choose one of the other. The moderates are always going to choose on the left anyways. And in the end, they're not going to make much of a policy difference. I think in the long run, people should probably get into local politics. People should probably move out to rural areas and start homesteading and just kind of like watch the American culture collapse from the outside.
Well, yeah, a lot
Keno,
of people
what a great
have kind of
promo.
assumed that about us. You see
Wow.
that in like forums online, and even news articles themselves have asserted that we are Trump supporters, but I don't think anyone out here even really likes Trump.
That surprises me a lot.
Well, I think the general sentiment is that he's not really necessarily for the American people, and that's kind of important to us. You know, our whole group is about, you know, being an American citizen, being a cultural group associated with America, and you know, he's not necessarily America first. Well, it's all just kind of a power game for people that are not us. You know, it's a group of people who
Ben
go
would make
into
a
that
joke about
mostly for
wanting to
personal gain
transition
and not
and be
necessarily
run out of the
for
place
actual
probably night
duty
one.
of the role. And so we don't really expect those
Randy, what do you
people
think
to
about this
actually
ultra
do
trad?
what's best for us.
Let's say I was Hispanic or black and I wanted to
She
come
has like the
interview you,
max
would you be
number of
less
points
open
in
to
the
that?
trad skill tree.
No, I believe in talking with people from anywhere. There's a black journalist who wants to come down, and I said, yeah, he's welcome to. I would walk him around the same as I'm walking you around. I think, like I said, we can get along better across cultural lines if our own cultures are allowed to exist. But if they're constantly under threat and you can't have your own space, well, then that puts you in a defensive posture.
And so being among people who have similar beliefs to you kind of insulates you from, you know, that kind of negativity. And, you know, obviously that's a much more comfortable life to live.
Are there any negative things that come from living in just a homogenized community that's just without any diversity at all?
I mean, not that I've seen. Most of my life I've lived in, you know, homogenous areas, and there's a lot of good to be said about that. You know, the places that I grew up and that I've experienced that were homogenous were the places that I felt personally the most comfortable.
Do you get uncomfortable around other races or gay or alternative lifestyle type communities, people?
Not necessarily. It really just kind of depends on the general attitude of those people. I've lived in more multicultural areas where I've interacted with people of various races and, belief systems. And, a lot of them are very good people, people who I, had genuinely good relationships with. And then there were others who really just would never have cared for me simply because I was white or because I had, a certain religious view or something to that effect. So you kind of get, when you get into a situation like that, it's really a mixed bag what you get.
Like, is there a way somebody could kick you guys out
Critical
of here?
trad.
We don't believe so. I mean, it's possible that people could sue us frivolously, or that some kind of government department could find us guilty of this or that and fine us. But, like, for example, the Fair Housing Commission, if they find us, a first-time offense is something like $15,000. So that wouldn't
Ozark cult
force
law.
us to sell the property or anything. Of course, anything is possible, especially with lawsuits being the way they are in the U.S. If someone wants to sue you, there's very little you can do about it. You have to pay for your own defense, and even if you win,
Usually in a
you still
cult,
spend
they
that money. So that lawfare is probably the biggest concern.
They don't
but
do it
if
that
people
way. You
do
have the
that,
guy
then
that's at the
we're under
top
threat, and people who are
demasculine,
sympathetic
like
with us
what would you call
will
it?
be more
Like
likely to
it's
support
not really
us, and I
feminizing
think,
them, but just like
it'll be more explicit
demasculinizing the
simply wanting to
the
have
other
a
people,
neighborhood
usually through like
for
access
our
to their
people,
women,
not even
so
the
that they're
nation,
like
not,
less
a
inclined
state,
to
just a
rise
neighborhood.
up.
That's all we're asking for. And if
That's what
they
Koresh
shut
did.
that down through coercive means, lawfare, whatever it is, then that'll send a message,
Lol
and I
suits.
think ultimately our cause will be
Ultra
benefited.
trad.
Intentional communities in general are something that a lot of people are looking to these days, and a lot of people just want to live this way. So,
why do people want intentional communities so much, you think?
Because you have more of a say in who your neighbors are. In most of America right now, most people don't even talk to their neighbors. A lot of people don't even really know their neighbors. Maybe their neighbors are criminals, or there's sketchy stuff going on, or they have loud parties all the time, and those are
Loud
people
parties.
who don't really have traditional views on
Who's
living.
this dweeb?
So maybe they're just having
Wow.
loud parties all night, every night, or maybe they're addicted
This
to
is
drugs.
why he
or
lives in the country, to get
manufacturing
away from
drugs, and
undesirables
it's,
like
a lot more
distinction.
enjoyable to live in a neighborhood where nobody's like that. And everyone around you is people you know and you can get along with. And there's still, of course, going to be kind of interpersonal problems, but nowhere near the alienation that
I
you
think
get
the
living
cult
in, like, a
vibe
suburban
is just
neighborhood
where
you
they're at,
barely talk
and the
to
fact
anybody.
that
And I know that's not 100% the case, but in a lot
the
of
leader
America,
guy
it's
is a
definitely
good
shared
communicator,
experience.
but he
People just
uses a
don't know their
lot of
neighbors, they don't
harsh
care about their
terminology
neighbors.
that
They don't even
sounds
maybe
like
even-
cult
people
speak.
don't move into a neighborhood because
Build
of
a
the neighbors anymore. They
confederacy.
move in
You know what I
because of,
mean?
like,
He uses some interesting
the house
words.
looks cool and they like it and it's the right price and they don't even talk to the neighbors at all before they move in. And
I
that's
can get
kind
along with
that's
pretty
kind of
much
strange,
anybody.
You know?
Somebody's property back here. What do you call these? Lots? Properties?
Yeah, lots.
Lots.
Homesteads. So you'll pass someone's setup on the left up here. He doesn't want his filmed.
Okay.
My name's Patrick. I'm from Michigan, and I'm here. I had wanted to do this independently, homestead, and it was a serendipitous situation. And I was looking in this area because I was basically priced out of Michigan, and the project popped up as I was getting.
Guy's a pig
hot
worshiper
dollars in my
based on his
pocket,
shirt.
and the timing worked out.
Yeah.
The feeling was.
Ben told me
was
the
good.
reason I get negative attention when I do IRLs is because I
All right,
dress
you've
like a
got
black
this set
person.
Up here. So this is you down here currently. You're at the end of the lot, end of the property, almost-ish.
Yep.
That's your tent. You made that. You set this up. This is kind of an idea on how you're gonna
This is
power
a great
your
show.
Yeah, I knew I was pretty deep in the property, so I would need independent power.
Yeah.
So I just put together, this is all like secondhand stuff.
He'll be the first one to turn.
It's old medical batteries, medical cart batteries. It's a 24-volt system. There's a 550 watt panel on top. And this is my
one-piece
refrigeration, my tool, battery charging. It's So they're used batteries. It's probably 2.5 kilowatt hours of storage.
And this is how you're going to power your future home?
Yep, wood tools.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. I can do it all back here. I mean, if there's a need, I could take this to the
My
front
man
and
living in
charge
a-
it up really fast. But I think it's going to be
Living in a circus tent.
Is this more for you about independent living off the grid, or is this more about like isolating against from the rest of the country, or both? I'm getting
They're
the,
probably
like,
all just
this
from
is more
different,
important,
like, intergovernmental
from you.
agencies.
Yeah.
Unaware.
I guess it's aspects of all those things. I think an important part of it is sovereignty.
Sovereignty.
I've been living in Detroit for the last 7 years, and you know, we all have a measure of sovereignty, and living in the city, it was pretty limited. I wanted to homestead in Michigan, but there's all kinds of code implications.
Living
Every
the
little
carny
thing would
life,
need
yes.
Engineers' approval and inspectors and all that. And out here, it is much more. I am much more sovereign out here.
Sovereign.
Did I hear you say you're sold out?
Well, all of the initial shares were purchased.
Okay.
But some people are reselling shares.
Okay.
I think
Was
it's
that
a
surprise
wild
to you
boar.
that you sold out so quickly? And how many is sold out? Like how many did you have? How many shares were you offering?
Well, it's 160 acres, so basically divide that by 3, approximately 50 shares.
Okay.
And no, I wasn't that surprised that there was the interest, because in the communities we're in online, there are a lot of people who have talked about this for a very long time. It's just the right legal framework hasn't come together.
Wow, Ember.
In the past, people have tried, all moving to one area, but then you don't really control who
He
your
is
neighbors
sovereign
are.
as
People
fuck,
move,
absolutely.
and you're not legally allowed to
Sovereignty.
decide who moves in next to you. Or a big company moves into town, and then they bring in a workforce from wherever. And like that's happened at Pocahontas nearby. The demographics changed really, really quickly. A lot of people feel uncomfortable with it. Some people are fine with it, and I think that's fine. But for those who don't like their hometowns radically transforming really quickly in their lifetime, something like this would be a good option.
And it's not that we're like so isolationist that we're not going to interact with the outside world at all, but
Ultra
it is
trad.
definitely kind of like the idea is to create a space where we feel more comfortable away from broader society.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever see America getting to a point that you would want to reintroduce yourselves to it?
I mean, you can't really say for sure. There's no way of knowing what's going to happen in the future. The landscape is so varied even now. You can't really accurately predict what's going to happen in the future. Maybe, maybe not.
We bought the land from a logging company, so they had some, you could kind of call them roads to start with, but there were huge divots. It's a lot of heavy machinery that they would operate out here. So this was some place that you could actually drive to. It was totally overgrown, stumps everywhere.
Speaking of
And
which,
this
I
is
saw
where we basically chose to set
a
up
bunch of
camp
Amish
initially.
people at Aldi the other day.
Some guys were living in tents out here.
How long ago was
in the
that?
very first,
Check this
like,
out.
2 years ago.
So 2 years ago, this is when you guys broke ground out here.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of bulldozing and clearing with tractor
Just like
and by
hanging
hand.
and banging down
And,
on
I know it doesn't
Ventura
look like
Boulevard.
much, but it took a long time to get to this point. So now this is a common
Or
area.
down
Some of the
on
guys
Venice
work out
Beach.
here. We have our sawmill. You can see logs that have been taken from the back half of the property that we intend to mill later on. Over there, a member has set up some tents to store his belongings. He
taint.
intends to move out with his family. But of course, it's hard to move all
Is
at
that a
once.
is
So
that a
yeah, this was where
perfume?
it all got started. We used to have a flagpole
Is
here.
that a Mountain
We
Dew
need one up
flavor?
front, but
So wait, so you got a well, so this is completely off grid, right?
For now, yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be slowly getting more on grid as time progresses.
Okay.
That costs money, and I'm trying to do this without a mortgage to show everyone that it can be done without a mortgage, and it's actually really fun. So.
And
Yeah, there was all I see them a lot, but there was like specifically a lot of them the other day.
After I was here for like 4 or 5 months, this was pretty much done, and then I started building a kitchen. So I'm starting to build a kitchen.
Ember's
onto the
trying
side
to
of
get
it. So
us
I'm
to
gonna
have a
pour
real world
a concrete
meetup
slab
at
floor and put a couple more
the
walls, and after that's done, I'll put a couple
this
rooms on the
off
front,
the
a couple rooms
grid,
on the side,
whites
and then I'll build,
only.
you know, a few more bedrooms onto the
Can
back.
you
So
imagine?
there's the exact same way that my grandfather built his house. Which is he built one room,
Hey,
then he built the next
some
room,
of
then he
you
built the
can
next
come
room, and
out
he didn't have to,
for this event.
As far as I know, he didn't have to get a mortgage to do that. So
Our
now we
hosts
kind of
are very
have half of the
particular
second
on
growing
visitors.
season in Arkansas, so I planted a bunch of turnips and parsnips. This was covered in squash, and last week I just took all the squash out and filled it up with, the turnips are even coming up in the middle there. It's like hackery turnip. It's some heirloom variety that produces in a very short period of time, like just a little over a month. And you can actually eat them raw, so that's kind of cool. So,
just hanging out.
And how many total live in here?
Eating parsnips.
Yeah, that's a good question. The number we usually say is 40. The population goes a little bit up and down. Summer's a little rough. I would say we're lower population at the moment, but there are more people planning on coming in fall.
And where are we going right now? There's a goat pen
Wonder
area.
what the security protocol
I have
is.
9 Nigerian dwarfs. Yeah, I used to let them out a lot more, but we had a coyote incident, so I let them out to graze, and then, you know, I give them feed and stuff. And this is Lucy, the Great
Heirloom.
Pyrenees.
Hi, Lucy.
Yeah. I'll be right back, okay, sweetie? She wanders a lot, so...
She have shade?
Yeah. It's-
Oh.
Yeah, she can get back
Does she
there.
have shade?
And, you know, we
Is
take
she
her
like
out
the-
sometimes, too.
Is she the goat watcher?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, she's not, like, full grown yet. I'll probably
Yeah.
have her in with them, and we're going to have better fencing around here, too. So it's a work in progress, but...
Activities? I don't know.
Are these
yes,
for milk
I
or
think
for
so.
food?
Yeah, they'll be for milk.
Oh, my goodness.
You want to come out, everybody?
Oh, my goodness.
Come on out. Come here. This is Acorn. Yeah.
What up, Acorn?
She's so cute. Yeah. Good girl.
So this goes all the way.
Oh, look at that.
since we're in the
Beautiful.
car,
Wow.
past the ridge.
It pretty much ends with the ridge.
Okay.
Just past it.
I know. It was so sad.
Are there people building back there?
Yeah.
And Nick Johnson, too, is someone who
In some
calls
ways, it's
homeless
more
people
difficult. In
bums
some ways,
in his
actually, the
videos.
wooded
Like, he's
areas
not
were
always the
easier
most
and
compassionate
upfront
guy, but, like...
because you didn't have all of those stumps to deal with.
I felt
and,
him in that moment when he was like, does she
you
have
didn't
shade?
the big ruts from the logging equipment.
My name is Peter. I've lived here since August.
I
of
wonder
last
what
year.
happened to Dave Grohl.
I mean, I mostly just came out here to make friends, essentially. It's kind of my whole thing.
Beautiful view.
It's not easy making friends in the city and all that stuff. And most normal people don't care about the sort of stuff that I do.
I assumed y'all were going to be a bunch of conservatives, and I've learned from talking to most people, we don't believe in the political system anymore. Are you also part of that belief?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I think Trump can give us like a little bit of freedom and room to.
Yeah, tiny houses, like shipping containers, probably.
I guess do something like this.
Hard to
I
make
believe
friends in a
the-
city sounds
the
like a
Democrats or,
savvy guy video title. You know, guys, what I thought would be a good topic is it's hard to make friends
okay with any of
in the
this. I
city.
think they would clamp down on
Let me
it
explain why.
very quickly.
Why? Why do you think they wouldn't allow what? And what is it about this? Is it the whole white no gay thing that they would be most against? You think?
Most likely, yeah. This whole project is we're exercising free association.
See,
and
they all
seeing
use
how,
the same sovereign citizen spells.
kind of how far we can, like what that actually means to us.
You want to talk about the tent?
Sure.
You built this.
Yeah.
Where did you learn how to build a tent? Who learns how to build a tent?
I was into medieval reenactment.
Okay.
Some years ago.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And I mean, a lot of the info's out there. It's funny, a lot of like Web 1.0 sites are still
active from, I don't know, the 80s and 90s. People putting together a lot of info, medievalist, reenactor type of stuff.
It's worse than a circus tent, south to west.
Okay, you can kind of see.
Oh, look, he's got his little knight's
How long
bed.
have you been here?
Oh,
a couple weeks.
Week and a half.
Okay.
He
I've been here,
absolutely is. He's a
month or two at a
LARPer.
time, a couple times in the past, clearing roads.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like such a rich, succulent
Is this for forever for you?
documentary,
Is this a
just filled
temporary, I
with
just need it
Kino.
out of the city thing. Have you even thought through that yet?
Yeah, I'm committed to, I think, at least 2029. I'd like to start a family and, spend a good deal of it here. But if things are, if I need to exit, I think I'll do, 4 or 5 years solid to really make sure.
You can start a family here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's going to
what
meet
about
a woman there, I guess.
Friends, family, when you told them you were coming here, did you face a lot of criticisms based around the controversy around this project?
Not really. I've been mostly open, more open with the immediate family and a little bit less open the further out from that circle. I think people pretty much get it.
Aren't there only 2 women?
How long have you lived here?
The ultra trad
In
is
this
with
community,
the Van Damme
probably
villain,
about a year.
and the other one's
What did you
pregnant.
learn the most? Something that you didn't think you would experience, or something that you've reflected on?
Well, I think the thing that strikes me the most about it is the community aspect of it, because even in modern communities that are more homogenous, there's kind of this individualistic sense about people nowadays, and everyone kind of looks out for themselves and not their neighbors so much anymore. And this particular group, because we have deliberately chosen people that we get along with, all of our neighbors are our friends. And we have a broader sense
Even the
of
guy in the
community
circus
that I think a
tent.
lot of people are missing nowadays. We have community dinners every Saturday. We frequently meet up for
He rides a
gatherings
broom
of various
handle to
kinds,
dinner
and it's
and
something
pretends
that I
it's a
think a lot of
horse.
people are missing today.
How long do you plan
Oh,
on
good.
staying
This
here,
guy, the
living here?
lost Baldwin brother.
I don't know. I'm gonna give it 10 years and see what happens. And
Absolutely, the main
they'll
guy
probably
does for
be
sure.
much
He could be
bigger
a
and
warlord.
Maybe I can go do some pioneering again. Start something else, start a new one. I kind of like the pioneering phase, so most people do not enjoy that, but I like just being out here with nothing really.
So other communities have tried this, right? This has been tried in North Dakota, Missouri. I mean, there's been other, and they never really lasted. I don't know why. Maybe you studied why. Do you know why? And how do you think you're
You're
going
in
to be able to
Tent Town.
make this last long when other white-only communities weren't able to sustain themselves?
Well, I think it is a matter of our legal structure. Like I said, in the past, people have congregated in a certain area. There are other groups in Arkansas that operate
They got
that
the
way.
weightlifting area,
And that
remember?
actually does work. I'm aware of networks in Texas and even the Northeast of hundreds
Bragging
of people
about
who
shit.
feel similarly to the way we do. And they gather together and they meet up for events and homeschooling co-ops and things like that. So it is a
No
viable
pool.
option. And there are long-running groups operating like that around the country. They're just not open about what they're doing.
They're
Another way
liars.
people have tried to go about it is to have one person own a bunch of land and then have people
Is John
live on
Galt
that
trying
land.
to build
And,
an intentional
I think
community?
People deserve skin in the game and a stake in a common enterprise and some dignity. So that's a situation that's easily exploited. Effectively, some guy can have his land developed for free, and then he can decide to sell the land, and no one can say otherwise.
And you're trying to grow this. You wanted Missouri. I mean, this is the first of. Explain to me what your vision is on the future of
You've
this
never won a
company
game.
and what you're doing.
You might have heard of
So
us.
this
We're the
company
Washington
is
Generals.
exclusive to this piece of land here. The PMA, Return to the Land, that's a nationwide association. We have members all over the country, and we are a member-driven organization. Our board is up for election every 2 years, so I won't necessarily always be the president.
And
Not necessarily.
wherever people in our association want to congregate and form companies and buy land together, we want to facilitate that. So it's a tricky thing getting the legal documentation right and making sure that you're just going about it according to best practices. It's easy to get in trouble with something like this. So that's why we exist as an association. And it really is member driven. So there are
I would make everyone meet up every night, like when it gets dark, and we would all stand around and smile and just like glance around, and then we would play the music from the final like celebration on Indoor from Return of the Jedi.
Obviously, in some states,
and then once the song hit the crescendo, everybody would have
Attorney
to go
General
home.
in Arkansas looked into the case and said that according to his preliminary investigation, nothing here is illegal. Now they still might find something, but in
South
many
to
other
west, they
states
only
with a
want
more
two
hostile
amenities:
attorney
white
general
only,
or
straight only.
presiding party,
Those are the only
it
amenities
might
they
be-
need.
You might get a different result.
And the other thing is, yeah, people will say that multiculturalism and diversity is the future. There was a book written in 1925 promoting a lot of those ideas. And one of the things they said, the author said, was that he wanted to replace diversity of ethnic groups with diversity of individuals. So it was actually a book promoting, and this book is, you know, well read by all the major politicians in the world, promoting the idea that we should actually eliminate the diversity of all ethnic groups in the world, combine them all together into one Earthian race, and then this is a wild idea. Combine them all together, and then you would only have diversity of the individual among the massive glob of Earthians. And that's a really strange idea to me, because actually that's the opposite of diversity and the opposite of multiculturalism. You're actually eliminating all the different cultures. And so it's kind of funny that they say one thing and they're really doing the opposite thing. We believe in preserving the sort of like all the individual cultures of the world and all the individual ethnic groups of the world. They all have something valuable or something unique. And I think that's a much more
Bethadone told me the
noble goal
movie
than
that she
smashing them all
made, I
together,
think she's debuting
like,
it soon, was
you know,
about
that
cowboys
1925
and
book proposed.
delusion.
But you know, even in my
Ultra
lifetime,
trad.
just like the last decade or so, things have gotten so much
If Ben
more
could get this
chaotic,
lady to
I
co-stream
guess.
with him,
And you know, I think that's kind
I
of
mean,
a natural
strap a rocket
result
to his
of
ass.
just like the advancements in technology and you know all of this connectivity between
She would actually
people
listen,
that,
South
you
to
know,
West.
never would have interacted before. It creates whole new dynamics that you have to figure out. And maybe that'll stabilize, maybe it won't. There's really no precedent for it, so there's no way of knowing.
They've tried this before in a lot of different ways, and they never seem to last. There's never been like
All
an intentional white
homeschooling.
community that's ever lasted.
Yeah.
Why do you think this place is gonna last?
I think because of the legal protections that people are going to have here. From my understanding, a lot of stuff in the past was one guy buys a property and then, you know, lets people live there or something. And that's not how it is here. It's much more like on the books, I guess you could say. I don't know. Yeah.
She would make Ben 3 squares.
Okay.
So the
Oh
country
boy, Dave
itself was
Grohl.
built, right? And then foreigners came in after most of the infrastructure was built, and they're just squatting at this point. At least that's what I think.
So you guys are pioneers.
I mean, we're we're doing. That's kind of what it looks like, I'd say. But
Yeah, I mean, a
How long
beautiful
are you gonna be here
view
for?
there.
What's your plan? Forever? For the next year? For the next 5? You don't know.
Well, probably ideally forever. So I'm not big on picking up and moving. You know, this is the biggest move I've made so far, and it's, you know, just over an hour from where I was born. So
300 guys and 2 women, yeah, and one of them's already knocked up. As Return to the Land continues to expand in Arkansas, they face legal challenges. The Arkansas Attorney General said racial discrimination has no place in my state. Oh, they got a little pond there. Many speculate this organization won't last very long. The group said it has plans to expand into multiple states. Nick really adding to the value with his drone, man, for real. Great documentary. What an interesting piece. All right, I got to go, though. I've got to ruminate on what we've watched today. But thanks for hanging out. I do greatly appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow for the Memphis, the first annual Daninsky's, dedicated to Daninsky Memphis Pizza Party. I'll see you guys tomorrow.